Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Oh, before when you were trying to mic the cord, the cord would not have been the same cord. Yeah, so it's showing.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
What gonna do? Check. Well. Bit of a hiccup. Always good to start the show on a rough note.
feel like the salt is worn off at this point. God damn it! Totally forgot about that. The mic cord that went belly up on us yesterday.
Aubrey yesterday, and we forgot to fix it until we started today's show.
That one's on me. I'm going to own that one. Totally on me. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, everybody. With Mike and Jay. Big E, of course, is here. How are you, my friend? Are you feeling better?
A little better, Mike. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. A true pleasure, gentlemen.
Yes. God, I hate getting the show off to a rough start. That's not fun. We'll get through it, though. We'll man up and get through it. E, how was your birthday?
Oh, I forgot about that. Dinner at...
No, we did not go to where I wanted to go.
What? So all the listeners that showed up?
I know. They would have been disappointed. If someone was rocking around the Johnny Carinos in a Brighton or Commerce, they would have been disappointed. Maybe just taking images of some family going, that's them, that's them.
Which one are you going to go to? Commerce?
We were going to go to Brighton, but some plans of other people had to get in the way, I suppose. And we had to go
on your special day?
I know. I had to go to a different restaurant.
Where'd you go, E?
It's just some other place closer to Ann Arbor.
Which place?
Doesn't really
matter.
What
do you mean?
It doesn't
You
matter. It's just some place.
Your brother's plans?
Just whatever, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It was fine still. In the end, the food actually ended up still being pretty good. I was just looking forward to my meal at Johnny Chris, just because from working there, like I've liked every restaurant I've worked at, like the food.
Yeah.
I've never had a restaurant where I didn't like eating there, so I haven't eaten there in a long time. So I was looking forward to it, but whatever, worked out still. Everything.
Did you drink a beer with your mom?
I drank a beer with my dad.
Did your mom object?
She grounded.
No, because I was already making my voice, my disdain for the new restaurant. So I think I was allowed.
Were you
beer.
pitching a bitch?
I think I was.
He threw a tantrum on his
did.
birthday.
It was a little.
This is my day.
It was a little. I may have been acting a little immature once I found out we weren't going to my restaurant.
Oh, E, what did you get for your birthday? What did Nana get you?
Money.
Nana actually came through. What'd she give you? How much? $5?
Money.
How much? How much she give you? How much did Nana give you?
I think it was like 50.
Oh, that's
50
not
bucks.
bad. Not
And
bad
then
for
my
Nana.
cat and my two cats gave me a Starbucks gift card, and then that was
Two cats? Do I know about this?
Yeah, we actually have a
Tony?
second
Oh, they got a
cat.
home-
Oh, yeah,
Homeless
that
cat.
feral cat that's
Yes.
running around the backyard. You call it your cat now?
Well, he's ours now. Like we took him in and got his, made sure he was up to date.
Got
and
his
everything.
belly tatted.
Yeah, no,
Tatted
that
up.
probably.
Oh, wait.
I don't know if we did that, but I mean, we made sure we got him. We made him officially ours a few months ago. If not, I don't know when, but officially. But I don't really see it as he's just to me like the runt. Like I don't like him that much, and I hate it because Tony.
Does it upset Tony?
Yes,
Oh,
and that's
well,
the problem.
It's unconscionable.
And when he will get in fights with Tony, I will absolutely take this other cat and go,
Always side with Tony.
get out of here, you. And I'll throw him
Scruff of the
outside.
neck, back of the
Right.
tail.
I don't care what happened. If I see a scuffling and Tony's not happy, I blame the other cat. And that other cat is outside for a while.
What's the other cat's name?
We just call him Tabby.
Tabby. God.
I know. I didn't really name him. It just happened. But
Sounds like nobody named.
no, exactly. Exactly. It's just kind of there. And I don't know. It's a fine cat. I'm sure it'd be fine if Tony hadn't been there first, but he is. And
Yeah, Monster's going through that now. Monster does not like Pants because Pants is young and Pants wants to play and fight, and Monster's just an old bag now.
Do you find yourself siding with Monster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I don't grab Pants by the scruff of the neck, but it's like just leave the old bird alone. I mean, it's like beating up your Nana every day. What's the point? Be easy to
Poor
do. but-
hairless bellied cat laying there.
No, she's got to be under stress. That's terrible. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Do we know what your parents gave you, E? Was it money?
just a card
With money in
with
it?
some money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
10 grand?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude,
You
if I
didn't
was
throw a
getting
number out
10
there, so
grand-
I threw a number
I'm
out
just
there.
going to, if I was getting a $10,000 birthday present, I'm not a big car person, but I can tell you I wouldn't be driving a car with 135,000 miles and a low coolant situation going on. I'm just so trust me, I'm not a big car person. I don't care what I drive, but if I got a $10,000 check, there'd be at least like a new $5,000, 100,000 mile car or something.
So your dad's not cool with fixing his car? It's got a low coolant issue.
We're
on?
trying to figure out. There's a weird situation. I don't know about cars at all. So it's a weird situation where we've kind of had it looked at, and we can't seem to find anyone that seems to find where the leak is. So it's like apparently it's like a very, very small leak. So he doesn't really, you don't really know where it's going. Like he actually is at the point, I think, where he wishes it would just have a big, massive thing, so he just knew and could either fix it or move on. So I don't obviously know, but
he will fix his car
at some point.
Okay.
Although lately, I mean, in the last year, the last few times though he's fixed it, it hasn't been free for me anymore. I know it used. So
wow.
Sending a message.
I have had to pay in full or chip in the last year and a half or so, 2 years.
You could use that birthday money he gave you.
Which will end up that's what will happen with that.
Yeah.
So
It's too bad.
what are you gonna do?
Anyway, dare I say a big show today? A lot to get to. We should probably start with Aaron Andrews, the trial we were
God.
following for a couple
God
weeks now.
damn it! That's ridiculous.
Stunning, stunning verdict.
Wow, what's your guys' problem?
55 million.
I have
bucks.
50. Yeah, I have a few problems.
Yeah, she was awarded by a jury $55 million.
What's that gonna do?
Um,
What is that gonna do?
well, that's a good question. Probably
we cannot
nothing.
judge the emotional damage, the distress that she's been caused.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. There's
You
people in
can't
this.
even put a dollar.
There's
number
people in
to it.
this world that grew up and their parents threw them out of the house thinking they were a witch.
That's what's crazy,
Lazy-
man. She just happened to be wronged by someone with deep pockets, which is great for her.
Yeah.
Good for her to be able to collect like that. Not at all setting aside that this was an awful invasion of privacy. It definitely was.
Yeah.
But there are people who are far worse victims.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and,
like people, I
and
think
have no ability to collect from anybody.
right. Murder, dude, wrong. Like I said, like I heard someone say, on Facebook, or someone was referencing like wrongful death suits,
Yeah.
that get far less.
Don't get even close. That is stunning.
Yeah, wrongful death usually is $5 million.
Now, granted,
$6 million.
This
At the hands of the cops will get you $5 or $6 million.
half of it is as to the guy, so she's never going to collect.
Oh, really?
Right,
Okay.
20,
right.
28 million is
Okay.
as to him.
Yep.
But
27
still,
of them.
if you
Dude,
told me 25 million, I would
if you
think.
told me anything over 5, I would have been like, that is stunning.
Yeah. Well, the thing that it comes back to is what I don't expect, or what I don't know what they expect the hotel to do about this for the future. When you look at the details of this case, that's the problem. Like in my personal opinion, I know you guys disagree with me. I can understand why, as a woman like her, that will have devastating effects for her personally.
I don't
going
disagree
forward.
with you. I
Like,
just
but-
disagree that.
But here's the thing. The problem
But
is
I don't
like,
know how you shut up. E. I don't know how you put a price tag on that and hold blame to the hotel chain when you look at the details of what happened.
Well, you're backing up and saying, is the hotel chain even liable?
Right.
And that's a stretch,
And-
given the facts we know.
right.
So
Right.
but once you find them liable, then you slap them with damages. So they found him liable.
Yeah.
But yeah, you and I are looking at that going, okay, so he gets he asks to call up to her room and it shows on a caller ID, and then he goes about all this criminal activity to get up there and do that.
And the fact is, if you don't have blocks on your room, if you're not under an alias, there's nothing to prevent you from staying at the Marriott, JME, going, yeah, Jay Detroit Cast. Sometimes the hotel will say, what room is he in? And if you don't know, they won't let you up there. Like you can put certain blocks on your thing. Like when we would call Super Bowl teams, it was like some hotels demanded to know what room is he in. So you had to know Jay Detroit Cast is in room 323. Ring me up to his room, and they'd ring you up immediately. If you didn't know, you're like, I'm not sure. He's under this name. Half the time they would ring you up, half the time they wouldn't, and maybe that's where they're finding the liability of some sort. But I don't
Didn't
understand.
he know the room though? Didn't he watch her in the
yeah,
hallway?
he didn't ask
No,
them,
no,
right?
He knew the room because he went to the restaurant and asked to be rung up to her room.
And saw
Then
the caller
he
ID.
confirmed it by going up there, hearing her in the room.
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then happened to notice that the room next to hers was open. So I don't know exactly what you're saying. $55 million worth made it so viciously
27 mil.
20, yeah, whatever. 27 million, which is a humongous amount of money. Like what is $27 million worth of wrongdoing on behalf of the Marriott? I don't quite understand.
It is
I could
hard
have
to
seen
understand.
them saying, no, this is a terrible tragedy that a criminal committed. It's worth zero. I would still have the same opinion that her life is forever changed
Right.
because of his actions. That doesn't change, but I don't know what you expect, like going forward, like Marriott, what exactly are they going to put in place to prevent someone from continuing to do something? I mean, if you want to get creative and be a criminal, there are all kinds of ways that people will never see you coming.
Yeah.
They just won't. So I don't know what exactly is the lesson to be learned from this, and what are hotels now going forward supposed to do?
And thus the general
prevent
rule
this.
that you're usually not liable for the criminal activity of a third party, because
Right.
the law understands that.
Yeah.
That you can't anticipate everything a criminal is going to do, and you can't stop everything that a criminal is going to do.
So is this a case of celebrity? I mean, because I know the jury was like hugging her afterwards.
Oh,
and
come
crying with her,
on.
which seems a bit much.
Yeah.
She's a good witness on the stand. Obviously, she's a well enough liked person.
I just can't get like, again, the violation sucks, man. That would really, really suck. It would
Yeah.
damage you going forward. It could have been so much worse, though. It's just her standing there naked, looking in the mirror. This woman wasn't raped,
Yeah,
thankfully. This woman wasn't caught doing more. You know, it wasn't a sex tape that somebody
yeah.
leaked.
Do you think it would have
It's her
been
standing
worse?
there naked?
Would have been worth more money if she would have just taken that
beating it?
hairbrush, just fucking churning butter on herself? Like, would that have made it worse?
I think that would have made it worse.
You think so?
Yes.
But it doesn't. But it doesn't make them more
As-
liable. It would have been more embarrassing.
Yeah, it would have rendered more damages because it would have been more embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, imagine getting that phone call, that hysteria. She talks
Daddy! Pumpkin, is that you?
I'm naked on the
I'm naked on the internet. I was doing butt flexes. That would be a
Was that in
sucky
the
call to
conversation?
get.
I wonder if that was part of the phone conversation.
She probably didn't realize at that point. She's probably playing it back
Right,
in her
I-
mind like the whole day. Like,
Oh my God.
oh my God, I was
Yes.
doing butt flexes. Oh my God, I was doing butt flexes. I'm pretty sure I was staring at my own ass in the mirror. Oh, this is horrible.
But this whole thing so far has been discussed without the deal with her probably, you know, even launching your career off this, which we talked about in prior days. But
Yeah.
even setting that aside, it's an absurd verdict, right?
Well, to me,
Let-
and I
let
know
alone
she.
that it definitely launched her to some degree.
To some degree, yeah, you can definitely make that argument.
Well, to
And
me,
then you add in
put
the
her on
fact
it
that
put her in front of a different audience. It's
Yeah.
like advertising. All press is good press. You've heard the saying. Like, it put her in front of an audience that, unless you were a sports fan, you didn't know who Erin Andrews was. Where all of a sudden, people that watch TMZ and read Gawker, they knew exactly who Erin Andrews was.
Yeah.
And so it obviously helps build
the
the
brand.
brand. It just does. What are you gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't know where I was going. You cut me off.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
wow,
Um,
how awkward. That's
Barrett-
gonna come up later.
Barrett. Yeah, I went off script there for a
That's
second.
gonna really.
Sorry.
Do I have to
got
stay
lost
for that
between
part of
page
the
2 and
meeting? I
3.
mean, come on, dude. I think that's
Yeah.
unfair.
I got lost in my notes. I'm sorry. Barrett, for his part, Michael Barrett, the guy that filmed it, said that he alone was to blame. He said he correctly guessed that she would be at the hotel. It made sense. It was closest to where the game was that she would be covering. By calling and pretending to be in a group with Andrews and asking for confirmation of the reservations. So maybe that's where the problem is. By lying to them, I don't know how you hold some $8 an hour desk person responsible for that. But
When she's checked in under her name too,
Yeah.
like you said.
yeah, one of Andrews' lawyers said Barrett is just trying to take all the blame because he holds a grudge against her over his conviction and doesn't want her to win any money.
Mm-hmm.
So is this going to be like OJ?
Stunning. Yeah, they'll
Where-
never get a dime out of him. He's
Yeah.
probably
But that ruins his life essentially
Yeah.
because any money. Although would she have to go after him for that? Like the Goldmans are just OJ murdered the wrong dude when he took
she'll
out
go
Ron
to
Goldman.
collect. She'll try to collect from him.
You think so?
And who knows what his situation is.
like he said, do you think like the Goldmans? I mean, just hammered OJ
Oh, they
regularly.
wouldn't.
Right? Do you think she'll do that? I
Why
wonder.
wouldn't you?
I don't
Tell
know.
a team of lawyers. It's like, all right,
it takes a long.
if I can collect 50 cents on the dollar,
Yeah.
isn't that worth it? If I can collect 10 cents on the dollar,
yeah,
not?
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
maybe.
it's
But
28 million bucks.
I remember the Goldman family though were like they wanted to know every goddamn step OJ's making for the remainder of his life. I mean, that's why he was trying to hide the clothing and all that stuff, do it on the side, selling memorabilia, which
Yeah.
got him in trouble for this last one because he was trying to hide shit from the Goldmans.
If you had a
because they wouldn't leave
$28
him
million
alone.
verdict against someone, wouldn't you? And you've got a team of lawyers.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go after the guy?
Yeah,
and,
I guess.
and watch his every move for the rest of his
Because
life.
you've got a life to live too.
Yeah, I know.
the
But you let
Goldmans
your
became
lawyers do it.
dedicated
Let your
to that.
lawyers do it. Report
Yeah.
back every 6 months. What'd you get?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
Yeah.
another
I
10
don't-
grand. Great.
The Goldman case made it seem like they personally were like just keeping an eye on that son of a bitch.
Yeah,
And I can't imagine Aaron Andrews doing
that was their
way.
only sense of justice, though. You know,
Yeah, true.
Aaron's got this other pot of gold now.
I'm assuming the Marriott will have a handful of appeals that they'll want to go
Yeah.
through and try to exhaust before paying out a dime. So it could be years before she sees anything,
Yeah.
if at all. So anyway,
Stunning. She was never touched.
I know. She was touched by millions of eyes, Jay. Millions and millions of eyes have seen her
She's getting those
Touched
tweets
her.
every day, Jay.
every day. Oh, that would
She
suck.
could just go off social networking. Like, no, if she doesn't need to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying
It would suck, but 55 million. God, I mean, she deserves something.
Yeah.
If
27
you
million,
can
as
find the
said.
hotel liable, let's assume the hotel's liable. You deserve something.
Yeah.
You definitely deserve something from the guy.
And obviously they found the hotel liable. They did.
55 million.
Yeah. It's crazy. Absolutely absurd.
I couldn't imagine being a regular person sitting there and think, because I know she has a more higher standard of living, but the average person, couldn't you live, realistically, you give someone $5 million, you could maybe live off that the rest of your life.
Jury was outraged, man.
I guess they
The
were.
jury, you never know what they're going
Or
to do.
I'd have a hard time
starstruck.
sitting there personally in my own life and going, yeah, this sucks. I could even see you giving her money, but man, even as a juror, I'd be like, dude, I'm going to give this bitch $55 million. I'm about to go home to my shit house and
Yeah. Well, that's why you'd be kicked off the jury. Wouldn't
What if I
want you
got him
there.
and said that as a juror?
Hulk Hogan's in court as well.
Oh,
for,
no,
for
the-
his sex tape.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it was for his racism
Oh yeah, the racism.
in the poem.
Oh
Hogan was surreptitiously videotaped as well. Let's see what he recovers here.
yeah. I don't know. There's not a big company to tag with it.
Gawker.
Well, Gawker, yeah, Gawker doesn't have that kind of money though. Gawker does not have Marriott money. I know they're going after Gawker for $100 million. Gawker doesn't have $100 million. I mean, it's just a website.
No idea what.
Yeah,
A website like
my
that,
guess is they don't have anywhere near $100 million in value, but we'll see. Hulk Hogan says he was completely humiliated, brother.
He's sitting there with a stupid thing on his head,
Skull
his
cap or
do-rag.
Bandana.
He's wearing that do-rag in court. He's sitting on the
No
stand.
way.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Like, look, everybody knows you're bald, dude. Just take you and Brett
Did he-
Michaels. Just take the damn things off.
Did he walk out
Terry,
to the
Terry, we're gonna need you to remove your hat in court. Almost.
Yes, I'm shocked they let him wear that.
Isn't
Usually,
that-
it's like a religious thing. If you have some religious reason, you
Yeah.
can wear it. But
Can't he argue though it's part of the brand? I mean, if he wants to come in there in yellow and red tights,
the red shiny boots on.
He's in the
Yeah.
he's
What
in
an
the,
asshole.
He's in the
Honestly.
NWO version of it.
Look at that.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Did he come out to his theme music?
No, I
He
don't
had
think he
theme
did,
music.
but yeah, he kind of looks like an ass. Does he have sunglasses on the top of his head?
Oh
too?
my god.
Oh my god, dude, he does. He does.
Yeah. Oh, there he is without the hat in the top picture in the middle there.
Oh wow.
Oof. Yeah, he's
Wow, what an asshole.
the video of him is him banging his buddy's wife.
Bubba.
Bubba, yeah, he was testifying yesterday in this privacy lawsuit against Gawker. Hogan said he did not authorize the tape to be made or authorize Gawker to use it. They're trying to do the whole Larry Flint First Amendment. They're trying to lean into that. Hogan said when he realized that Bubba the Love Sponge was involved in making the tape, he began violently shaking. God, that's one of those where. I'm sorry, going back to Bubba the Love Sponge.
Who is Bubba the Love Sponge?
He's a DJ from Florida. I think he was part of Howard Stern's network at one point. I'm pretty sure. Shock jock, classic shock jock, but one of those, when Man Cow was a big deal,
Yeah.
and like everybody had to have a fake name, and it's one of those like I always thought like, okay, what are you going to do when you're 50 years old and you're known as Bubba the Love Sponge? Like that sucks, man. You just want to be, Jay.
Yeah.
I think it just works. It's tough when you get older to be like some name that was cool when you were 20 years old, but I don't know.
Look at these promos.
There he is.
Yeah.
Bubba the
That's
Love
the
Sponge.
key.
Look at that group.
Look at this guy looking away.
So he
Nobody
put
look at the camera but
he
Bubba.
just put up his wife for
Do you
the
think
Hulkster.
That's a good point. In this thing, do you think there was a spoken directive for these people not to look at the camera?
don't look at the camera.
Bubba's the only one.
What's going on with the old man and the bandana there? What's up with that? Is that
It's
their
his
version of
story.
Big E?
Probably.
Anyway, He says, I was embarrassed by what it did to me as a person, but it was even embarrassing as a character. Hogan testified that his friend told him in a phone call that his wife, Heather, wanted to bang him. He treated it as a joke, but the couple kept bringing it up repeatedly. When he eventually did have sex, the husband handed Hogan a condom. God, what a weird situation. They're like best friends, dude.
Don't get it.
I don't get it either. I can't imagine like, thanks, Jay, for coming over and making this happen.
Yeah,
here's your
absolutely.
condom.
Yeah, thank you.
I remember that. I wonder how Hogan would feel if the tape that came out wasn't such a bummer. I think it was like,
Was it a bummer?
yeah, I think he had socks on, and it was just like, I think we finally got a copy of that, and it was a bummer. I don't know if that tape's, it's probably still around
Was
somewhere.
it quick? It was just
Well, I think the whole tape was 30 minutes long, but I think with the clip that aired from Gawker was like a minute 40,
Mhm.
and it was just like very simple. There was nothing to it. I for some reason I remember black socks being on or a black T-shirt or something. Is that the video there?
Trying to see. No, I'm trying to look for it. You're right though. I do remember something about the socks too. I think I do remember that. Didn't he like go in the other room? Some weird thing where they just like he kind of just said, "Here's my wife," and he walked in the other room or something. Or
Yeah, I don't remember. It was a few years ago since I've seen it, but Hogan did bang her apparently like 3 times in the end. He felt something was wrong and asked if they were being taped, but Bubba denied it. He's suing for $100 million for this videotape. A lawyer for Gawker invoked the Holocaust yesterday
what?
in court. Yeah. He when he defended the website's choice to publish the sex tape, the defense attorney Michael Berry told the story of how the website's founder Nick Denton came from a family that escaped the Holocaust. His mother was a Hungarian Jew who survived the Nazis. Mr. Denton grew up with parents who have seen firsthand what happens when speech is suppressed. So this is a First Amendment issue. He wants the public to have the simple, unvarnished truth, the unvarnished truth about public figures.
It's so important that people know that Hulk Hogan banged this chick.
Yeah.
I mean, and see it.
Right.
It's so important.
So important. Yeah, it seems like that's not. Is it? Did you find the video? It seems like a stretch when you're talking about the truth and what's necessary to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand why there's an interest. It's Hulk Hogan. Of course, you'd want to
Yeah,
see him
right.
banging someone. There were 3 sexual encounters caught on tape. Hogan says he didn't know he was being videotaped, and it's unclear who leaked the video. Some say it was a disgruntled producer of Bubba the Love Sponge's show.
Mhm.
That he leaked it to Gawker. And Gawker's argument also is, well, Hogan's been open about his sex life. He's been on Stern's show talking about banging chicks. So this backs up that story of some sort. I don't know. It just seems weird.
So how's it filmed? Bubba filmed it?
Yeah, they had a camera set up in the room, I guess. And apparently Hogan didn't know. Some people think, maybe it's a ploy to get money out of Gawker, like Hogan and Bubba were in on this together. And blah, who knows? I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, we'll see what it's worth. We'll see what the difference is. Yeah, let's see what the wife looks like. Is that her there?
I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's her.
Okay.
Look at Bubba.
Definitely not bad for sure.
Bubba?
No, not Bubba.
Oh, I didn't know. I said, look at Bubba, and you said, not bad for sure.
Talking
So-
about his wife.
Look what money will buy you.
I know. Isn't that great? Money and
There's-
fame, right?
There is no place on the planet that should be a couple, ever.
It's so unreal.
But for one reason is that tandem a duo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
oh yeah,
I mean, there is
dude. I just remember, and I know
all the personality in the world doesn't make that couple fit. No offense.
You
Sorry.
can just find so many examples, but I've just more than a few times you go to those Piston games and you look down at the courtside seats and
Oh,
you
yeah.
see some
The Birmingham guy.
right, dude.
The
Some
old Birmingham guy with the flowing white hair.
right, and the
Mhm.
Bernie
21-year-old
Madoff-looking guy.
chick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
21, 22-year-old chick
It's
down
a
there.
beautiful thing, isn't it?
Love is amazing.
To the right side over here, you've got Kim Kardashian's recent Instagram photo. I guess yeah, you love her, don't you?
No, I
She's-
do not.
ugh, she's gross, isn't she?
She is so gross. I'm sorry. I find absolutely nothing about Kim
The
Kardashian.
hip to waist
hot.
ratio is so troubling to me.
Yeah. You just had 2 kids. Go be a mom. What are you doing taking nude selfies and posting them on the net, you idiot? Oh, she's
Trying
just
to stay
gross.
relevant.
Yeah, I guess. But I've never found her hot. Never.
Saint and West, right? Those are
Yeah.
children. Yeah.
North,
Or
no,
North, I'm sorry.
Northwest, and
Yeah. Northwest
Saint
and
West.
Saint West. Yeah.
Ready for that family to go away. I gotta be honest.
It's
with you,
getting
Jay.
close. It is getting closer than it's ever been, but
I mean, I've been ready for them to go
I
away
know.
forever, but
I know. But I'm just saying. I think it is
I
getting
wonder if
close.
they will. I mean, that has to tip soon. Where I see more and more people cannot stand that family.
I know, but the young ones are now
But the
models and
and
shit.
the thing
so
is-
that's the thing. They keep multiplying and bringing new ones into the fold. And
young
the
people like that.
Rob, like the brother.
Right.
Yeah.
You seem to see him popping up more and more
Yeah.
with who he's dating and shit.
Well, and young kids like the problem when I say they're going away, the older ones are, but I think young people like Chloe and Chloe and I can't
Kendall and
Kendall
Kylie,
and Kylie.
Chloe is OJ's
Yeah, Chloe's.
kid, right?
You're right. That's the different
Yeah.
one.
who looks much better now.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen her.
Mm-mm.
She doesn't look like a hulk of a guy anymore. She,
That was Lamar Odom's chick.
yeah.
she was the coolest out of those
She
people,
looks,
but
she's definitely the coolest.
but
out
because
of all
she's
of
also
them.
the ugly, she had to have the personality. I mean, I hate to
She
say
was
it,
the
like-
one that did not get the whole "my dad's a chick now" thing more than anybody.
Right.
She was like, what the fuck?
Did she get the "my dad's a murderer" thing?
Well, her real dad. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I haven't seen her quoted on the whole juice thing.
The juice.
They call me Juice.
The juice.
They must be referred to as the juice. How ridiculous.
Yeah, she looks better. I don't know if you've seen her though. She's
No.
lost a lot of weight. Maybe you can find a picture.
No,
of her.
but what I was just saying, but yeah, like I said though, the thing about those Kendall and Kylie though, that's the only problem with that going away because the young people do like those girls. I think they're very relevant, so it could not
Yeah.
be going away. That's the only problem.
Are you ready for Super Tuesday Part 2, Jay?
Super Tuesday. Gotta go vote today,
Are
right?
you gonna go vote?
Of course.
See, how about we make a deal?
No.
You don't go vote,
Nope.
and I won't go vote.
Nope.
And then we just would have canceled each other's votes out anyway.
It's not true. There's
See,
4
now
people. It doesn't just cancel. You need to go vote, Mike.
But
I had a woman last night really trying hard to talk me into Trump.
yeah.
She's a big Trump supporter, part
Yeah,
of the
boy.
campaign. She,
Oh no,
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
This is her.
wearing the hat and the shirt and everything.
This is her.
Yeah,
Chloe. More of a
That doesn't even
blonde
look
look.
like her to me.
I know. She's lost a shitload of weight.
I think I liked her before more.
Really?
I don't like her like that as much.
I
Needs
put
a little more weight.
I had a Trump supporter putting on the full court press,
Yeah.
and I was having none of it.
See, here's how I would respond to that. I would just want to get away from any person. It's not because it's a Trump supporter. If it was a Kasich one, a Rubio one, a Vampire one, whatever it was, I would just go, yeah. No, who are you voting for? Oh, you're voting for Hillary. Me too. So that just to eliminate the pitch.
Yes, I
Like,
always just agree with whatever they're voting for. and
yeah,
move
it could
on.
be like
I
we're
do.
really fighting for the Nazi party. I'd be like, yeah, me too, because I don't want to hear their pitch.
Yeah.
Like I just don't care.
Oh, she asked me why I wasn't considering Trump, and I said I'm not sure that he's not insane. That's why.
Really?
She just kind of looked at me. Oh, he's not. He's so down to earth. I've met him, and
Oh, you've met him, so you know him.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. I know people are impassioned. There's definitely a celeb factor with him.
I think so.
There's no doubt about it. He's not your typical nerd politician. I mean, he's Donald Trump.
What are the latest polls, man? I think
Um,
Kasich was gaining, right?
Kasich is surging. And
Rubio's falling.
I blame
Kasich's
you for
gaining.
that, Jay. You've been on these public airwaves talking about Kasich this and Kasich that for the last 2 days.
That was a natural thing that people fell into after watching that debate. I mean, just watching where it's going. It's like the guy stands up there, he sounds most reasonable. And
Yeah.
it may be if he was in the fray and he was one of the front runners like a Rubio or Cruz, he'd be right where Rubio and Cruz are in terms of mucking it
Sure.
up. But he was smart and he was able to kind of stand off to the side and be positive, and
Yeah.
he's come off well, you know.
2 new polls out. Reserve the best news, obviously, for Donald. He's still doing well, but good news for John Kasich. In a Monmouth University poll, Trump leads with 36% support from Republican voters, strictly in Michigan, followed by Cruz with 23% and Kasich with 21%. That's huge for him.
Yeah.
I guess it's not totally shocking. He's the neighboring state of Ohio, so I don't know why that
People
matters.
here hate Ohio. Why would
I know,
anyone-
like, dude, that's how I feel. I feel like if anything, I would want to vote less for him because of
Yeah.
the Ohio
It's like
factor.
our friends, the Ohioans, our friends.
Yeah. You can't stand
Screw
Ohio.
Ohio.
Fuck Ohio. Detroit's local Fox affiliate, Fox 2, partnered with Mitchell Research and Communications, released a poll yesterday that showed similar trend lines. They've got Trump in front with 42%. Kasich is actually second place with 19.6%, Cruz at 19.3%, and Little Rubio coming with 9%.
Heard Trump hammering the little Rubio thing again, saying that at the debate where Christie was hitting him so hard, he's like, I took my hand. He's like, this hand. He's like, I was ready to catch little Rubio. I was so afraid he'd fall and get hurt. He was so nervous. I've never seen somebody.
Yeah, he loves piling on the whole little Rubio thing, the sweat thing. The polls are just suggesting what we talked about the day after that debate last Thursday in Detroit, which was Kasich. Of all the things that were done, Kasich came out looking most presidential and had the most to say. And I guess I don't really blame Rubio and Cruz. I mean, it was like, what do you do if you've got this bowling ball just running through the thing?
Yeah.
And everyone's going, dude, you have to do something. You can't just let this come on and carry on like this. What are you supposed to do? So they went and started attacking him and hitting him hard, I guess. But it turned into this like World Wrestling Federation atmosphere.
Breathe, Donald, breathe.
Breathe, count to 10,
Breathe,
Donald. But it was so absurd. But it left this lane open for Kasich to come in. It'll be really interesting to see how he does here.
I think he'll come in second here.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think Donald will win?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are asking Rubio to get the hell out of this race as well.
Well, he's starting to think about it because it could have long-term implications. If he can't win his own state,
yeah,
he's looking at, if he doesn't get the nomination this time, looking at maybe running for governor down there or looking to run again in whatever it is, 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got to think selfishly, how does this look if I don't take the state? And he's well behind right now, isn't he?
He is. And the other fear for him is if he gets his ass handed to him in his own state. Like it's one thing to lose, but if he gets his ass handed to him, which it sounds like he could, that would be really troublesome for him and the Rubio brand. There's a battle, they say, being waged inside his campaign so it's not just like outside pundits saying, Marco, you need to get out for strategic reasons. Like his own campaign members, they say, are urging him to beat it. Politically, the campaign is maintaining they're still a contender in this race. Of course, they're touting Puerto Rico.
The 23 delegates he was able to amass in Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
Friggin' Puerto Rico. What the hell is Puerto Rico voting in this for?
I don't know.
Did we have the Guam primary yet?
I don't
Give me
know.
a break. Was it a territory?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
What?
it surprises me too, but Puerto Rico counts, and he kicked ass, man. He got 78% of the vote.
Shouldn't he have got higher than that?
Probably went down there, hola, Puerto Riqueño. And they all went, oh,
He's one of
Rubio.
us. He's one of us.
I did not realize that they got votes in this thing.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That is wow.
Alex Conant, his communications director, said this report is 100% false. This is fiction. Absolute fiction. He was trying to get on all the TV shows last night to say that. Sources say pressure will only continue to mount following an expected disappointing showing today in Michigan, Mississippi, Hawaii, and Idaho. Not going to have a great day is an understatement, one campaign source said. There are two lines of thought. On one hand, some advisors are warning that if he does poorly in his home state, it could hurt his potential going forward, as you said. Others say the campaign are urging for him to stay in the race. And what's the thought on that? That if he bails, it just hands it to Trump and it's a winner-take-all state.
Is it a winner-take-all?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So Florida's big with 150 votes or delegates or something.
Yeah, for the good of the party, you would think if the aim is to stop Trump and go to a brokered convention, he's got to hang in there and do everything he can to try to pull it out.
Yeah.
Because that will stop Trump from getting, what'd you say, 130 delegates?
150 or
150.
What was Texas? 199?
I don't know.
Something like that. I can't remember, but
And the same
it's
is true
a
with
lot. Florida's
Kasich in Ohio.
huge.
Ohio's
Yeah.
very important for Kasich, and that's why they say if Kasich does well in Michigan, he has some momentum going into Ohio.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I'm
Where
reading it.
he's expected to do well. Yeah, interesting stuff for sure. So, but Cruz, the vampire, and Trump are both urging Rubio to get the hell out. Trump probably selfishly knows if I can claim Michigan and Florida, that would be huge for him. Be huge. And
It'd be nothing like it.
I wonder, is Cruz even down in Florida, or is he just like, there's no way I can win that, and I can't take any delegates from it, so fuck Florida?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So, I mean, that's what I'd be thinking. If I can't get anything from you, then screw it. I'm out. I'm out of here. Michael Bloomberg came out and announced yesterday that he's not going to run for the White House.
Yeah,
Crazy. The
that's
billionaire from New York. Remember, he was teasing that.
Yes. Kind of watching to see how the Bernie Hillary thing would go and if there was a lane for him to fit into.
It seemed so absurd to me, like that he would even flirt with something like that, knowing as a liberal Democrat that he is. Like, what do you think's going to happen? You think you're going to take support from Trump? No, you're going to divide that base. I mean, we've talked about it. It would have just split, taken votes from Hillary, who's probably going to win that nomination. So it would have just taken from her if he ran as a third party. It wouldn't have hurt the Republicans.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He has so much money, though. You know, when you have that much money, you can, I guess, flirt with ideas like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hell, I may run for president.
The other interesting story yesterday in the political realm was, remember that baby, the Bernie baby?
I never saw that Bernie baby.
Yeah.
Got the little wig on, the little Bernie wig and glasses.
Yeah.
Cute little guy.
There was a picture going around for a few weeks or a couple weeks ago of this.
Did it go
kid.
viral?
It went viral because Bernie was holding the kid. Look at this thing. It looks just like me. He was holding the thing, and the kid's dead now.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, my favorite syndrome, SIDS, sudden infant death for the lay.
Everything's your favorite syndrome when we talk about it.
I was on record long ago, right?
No,
saying
you
that
weren't.
I thought
there was
SIDS
several
was
Prader
other.
Willies, I thought it was.
Well, Prader Willies is up there. I have a lot that are up there. But
Personally
no,
important to you.
you say it every time we talk about a syndrome. You say that it's your favorite.
what? Prader Willies or
No,
SIDS?
whatever.
I
is the
remember him
topic of the
saying
day.
SIDS is badass because it just
Was
kills
that the
your
sleeping
ass.
one?
Yes.
Sudden infant death. They don't know
Never
why.
heard of
Oh.
SIDS?
No.
Oh, E.
Yeah.
E.
I don't keep up on the local science periodicals.
Wait, what? So what was that sentence?
I don't keep up on the science periodicals of the day.
Local science periodicals, as if that's a local thing in Michigan. And lots of SIDS cases
Science
here in
periodicals.
southeast Detroit, southeast Michigan.
What the hell did that mean?
I don't know. I just don't know what SIDS is. Sorry. God, who cares?
SIDS is a weird one. That's
Millions of parents whose babies suddenly die in their sleep.
Well, I don't know who those people are.
Oliver Jack Carter Lomas Davis.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's beautiful little Oliver Jack Carter Lomas Davis.
Lomas.
What is the actual last name?
Lomas hyphen Davis.
Okay.
Davis. Yeah, the boy died 2 weeks after he stole the limelight on the campaign. I don't know. It's one of my favorite syndromes, but I would have thought I thought sudden infant death syndrome was like sudden infant death syndrome, where they die suddenly as like a infant. Like you don't take them home and have them for a few months and then they die.
Yeah. No, I think that's normal.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
I think it's
happened
sudden in that you don't see it coming.
as is anything that's sudden. Well put.
You don't. It's sudden out of
What is
nowhere.
what
Out of
is-
nowhere, infant death syndrome. Out of nowhere.
Did it used to be referred as blindside infant death syndrome?
Yes.
At what point is the cutoff where it's like toddler infant death syndrome? I mean, is there a toddler infant death syndrome, or is that just murder?
You mean when does infant go out of the thing?
Yes. I mean, because he doesn't look like an infant to me. He looks like an almost 1-year-old.
Wee.
Is he wee? I
few
couldn't
months
tell
old?
if he
I
was
don't know.
5. I don't
Is
know.
he 4 months old? 5 months old?
I don't know. I don't mean to be
Monster.
According to this,
Yeah.
it looks like typically death occurs between the hours of 0 and 9.
Yeah, now that's sudden infant death syndrome. That's textbook sudden infant death in my book.
What are you talking about? Between midnight
Birth?
and 9 a.m.
No, birth
between
and 9
birth
hours later.
And 9 hours later, like 0, he's 0. Now he's 001.
I don't think that's what it means. I think it means it happens at night. Between midnight and 9 a.m.
Let's read it again.
It definitely happens at
Sudden
night.
infant death, also known as SIDS, SIDS, also known as cot death or crib death, is the sudden unexplained death of a child less than of a year age. Okay. Diagnosis requires okay, so I guess you can be a year or under.
Yeah, and it happens at night when they're sleeping.
Why does it have
Okay. Cot death.
Oh, so it is 0 and 9 a.m., meaning that,
Yeah.
Okay. So it happens at night.
It happens between 0 right out of the machine. Isn't that more than 0?
Well, as it's coming out.
My God.
But we don't count.
My God.
We don't
Is this
count,
really happening right
we
now?
don't count from, we don't count.
How did
our-
I get here, Mike?
We don't count
I
our date
don't
of
know.
birth from your conception.
E. Let's move on.
Okay.
So he was dubbed the Bernie baby. Met Bernie 2 weeks later. They say a fortnight. They actually say a fortnight later.
No.
He tragically passed in
In
his
an
home.
article?
Yes.
Wow.
His mother, Susan, is still trying to make sense of what happened. She also revealed that nobody, and I mean nobody, from Camp Bernie has reached out to
Oh
her.
my
What?
goodness. The Bernie baby?
Yes, the Bernie baby.
Well, this is
And no, admittedly, she said she can't even think about the presidential race. Instead, wants the fans he generated. You're talking about
has fans.
we're talking about the fans of Oliver Jack Carter Lomas Davis now, the
Lomas
Bernie
Hyphen
baby.
Davis.
Fans.
To do what? To contribute to her GoFundMe?
Well, there's that.
Of course.
She instead wants the fans that he generated around the country to remember his infectious smile.
Will
Just
do.
It's
keep,
fair. It's a
keep-
fair request.
Check.
keep me in your prayers today, tomorrow, and the day after when everyone is gone. She took a short nap. She took a short nap back on February 25th.
He took a long nap.
Yeah, permanent.
It was a cheap shot. Before realizing something terrible had happened, I woke up after a quick nap and went to change Oliver's diaper. Oliver, you need a nappy change, Oliver?
Oliver James Bill Lomas Hyphen Davis.
Right. That's when she realized, oh, he was dead. Oliver's aunt set up a GoFundMe. They've raised $25,000. When asked if Sanders
For what?
had personally reached out, I don't know.
What is the
Apparently-
GoFundMe for?
The burial
she's
and then a
sad.
sweet Caribbean vacation where they can forget about Oliver Jack James
Carter
Bill
Lomas hyphen
Davis.
Davis.
Forget all about him. Just get shitty.
Might as well.
When asked if Sanders had personally reached out, he has not at all. All the information is out there. Everything he needs to know.
See, it's one thing to answer that question. Go, no, nobody from the campaign has. But to be like, no,
Not at all.
it's fairly surprising given who Oliver Jack James William Bill
Well, all his
Lomas hyphen
fans.
Davis was.
Yeah. That is so absurd that you would think a presidential campaign. What is Bernie supposed to do?
Well, think about what this guy's life is right now. Bernie, he doesn't even know where he is, I'm sure.
No.
Traveling so much. He's all over the place. He's going to, I'm sure if he knew that, he'd send a quick email or tell his people to.
Yeah.
But it's not even on his radar, man.
Of course not. Of course
He's
not.
got a million
All I
things.
know is I'm 1 minute I'm in this shithole in America, the next I'm in this shithole, then I stop at a ghetto really quick, and then I'm in another shithole in
You
America.
can't say ghetto. You can't. That's a trigger
What?
word. You cannot say ghetto, Mr. Sanders.
Inner city shithole. Is that better?
That's better. You can't say ghetto, whatever you do.
Well,
But I am in a ghetto. It's a shithole. Look at it. I was just in that shithole in Flint, Michigan. I was in that ghetto in Flint, Michigan.
You can't say ghetto.
Why not? What's the problem? It is a ghetto.
It's hurtful. It causes people hurt.
Now
and
I
pain.
got babies dropping dead on me. The Bernie baby's dead now. What's going on over here? I don't give a shit. The thing's white. What am I supposed to do with that? I can't use that for political gain. It's white, for Christ's sakes.
Just
I'm
don't
on
say
my way
ghetto.
to another ghetto shithole.
You can't say that.
Can you believe the shit he's getting, by the way, for saying ghetto?
That's unreal, man.
Yeah.
Ghetto. Is it outmoded?
I don't know
People are
anymore,
just
Jay.
so-
What is, you know?
People are so damn sensitive. I'm just surprised that I mean, it's picked up as a national story. It's a national story that Bernie Sanders somehow, the implication is that he's somehow semi-racist. Racist.
Yeah,
For the
right.
fact that he said, when asked one of the most racist questions ever, everybody's a little bit racist. What is it about you that's racist? He's like, oh, fuck, I don't know. I pretend to love you people. I spoke to your leader. What more do you want from me? I go to this shithole ghettos all the time. But his answer was, white people don't know what it's like to grow up in a ghetto. And white people don't know. And it's like, he said ghetto. Fuck the message that he's trying to answer this ridiculous, pointless question, first off. And then you try to pin him with the ghetto
Right.
racist tag.
Aha!
First off, the ghetto describes something. Like, you know what the ghetto means. So what?
It's outmoded, though, Mike.
So okay.
It's hurtful.
So you come up with another term. It's like retarded. You come up with another term, and it's like, okay, it again goes back to my pillows argument. Call it the pillow. I've been traveling to pillows all over the country. Like, eventually people will take offense at the fact that you've changed the name to something. It represents something that actually exists.
By the way, I have more.
So we have a name for what it is. It's a ghetto.
I have more update, I think, on the fact that the retarded word may be going away.
No,
Jay. I'm
no,
sorry.
don't take this from me.
I'm sorry,
Oh, it
but I
is.
was at
It's
work.
gone.
I was
What
at
am I
work.
going to call him?
Dude, look at this though. I was at
Feeble-minded? Feeble-minded just doesn't seem.
Feeble-minded is outmoded. You can't use feeble-minded.
I was at work the other day, and they were talking about something. These are porters. They like the younger porters were talking about like how Kid Rock. Like, oh, did you see that with Kid Rock? Where he was at the game with that kid the other day? I was like, oh yeah, fucking Kid Rock took that retard to the game the other day. That was
And they were
funny.
like,
No, they were like, sure. I'm like, dude, settle down. It was an awesome story. I get it, dude. Whatever. But yeah,
You
they
said that.
Yeah, I did. I just like, oh yeah, I saw that Kid Rock took that retard to the basketball game the other day.
well putty.
It
Well
did not
put.
go over well with the other 19 and 20-year-old porters.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been taught to be outraged, faux outraged at everything they hear. So,
So anyway, that was just an update on the word.
yeah.
Yeah, liberals are just swallowing themselves now as they try to.
Yeah, they're eating there, which is the funniest part and the most ironic part of all of it
Yeah.
is you're so desperate to, like, I don't know, make some attention for yourself that you're gonna tag Bernie Sanders as racist. The guy's been championing for the cause for 40 years, for 4 decades. That guy's been out there fighting the fight. He's been to jail. He went to jail in Chicago for defending their rights.
Yeah.
I mean, he's preached from this mantle, and now you're gonna tag him as racist. What hope is there for me, Jay? I'm screwed.
Oof.
I'm in real
Oh,
trouble.
Mike.
I am.
Real trouble. Hey, due to construction, Zotford and Holly has run out of room and needs to move some inventory off its lot. Therefore, Zotford has lined up some incredible deals for TDC loyalists. Simply head to I-75 and exit 98. Mention Big E has chronic ball itch, and you will be rewarded with
What?
a lease payment of $148 per month on a brand new 16 Ford Fusion SE. Also, if you bring in a bottle of Gold Bond for Big E's nuts, you will receive a free autographed TDC t-shirt.
Gold Bond is great. It probably would help your nuts.
Yeah, you know what? The construction is a pain in the ass on me. It's affecting me now because I'm having a hard time park cars. So could you sons of bitches just go buy some goddamn cars, please?
Yeah.
Make my job easier.
It's very important.
Not for the show, but for me.
Did you see there was a U.S. drone strike yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
In Syria?
Yep. Big one.
150 members of Al-Shabaab.
Nice.
Yes.
Al-Shabaab, Bob.
Al-Shabaab. They were killed in a drone airstrike in Somalia as they were preparing to launch an attack. You got all these asswipes sitting around doing whatever they do, talking about how badass this is going to be.
Are they cranking some music, you think, and psyched up?
Some dog shit music. And out of the blue, bye-bye.
Boom.
No longer with us. Sorry, folks. Enjoy. Hope you enjoy your virgins. American drones dropped bombs and launched Hellfire missiles. It just opened the earth up on these sons of bitches at Raso Camp, which is a training facility north of Mogadishu.
Mhm.
Mogadishu?
Mhm.
Mogadishu. Defense officials said the group had been planning a large-scale attack for some time, but appeared to be nearing the final stages of prep, and so they ordered the strike, which is rare, man. They don't usually do stuff like that. They estimated as many as 200 fighters had been at the camp, including a number of trainers. There were no known civilian casualties.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep, that's textbook.
Textbook.
Love it. In their latest noble attack, Al-Shabaab attempted to kill a number of senior Western officials on board a flight from Mogadishu to Djibouti. Easy for me to say, right?
Right.
With a laptop bomb. Did you see that one? I don't know if you saw that story.
Oh, yeah. The guy goes whipping out of the plane, right?
Yeah.
Only he got ejected.
Yeah. He goes up there and they one of these, we keep hearing about these smart bombs that they're trying to make where you can hide them. They're
Detectable.
not detectable through the metal detectors. So they're stashing them in shoes. We saw over Detroit Christmas.
Well, that
a
was
few
the
years ago.
underwear. The shoe was over Chicago, I think.
Was it? Okay, yeah. The underwear bomb, the Chicago one, these are all by the same group that are trying to get these ones past security. And they got one past security in a laptop. And so he had really strict instructions about how he was supposed to detonate it, where he was supposed to sit on the plane.
Yeah, he was right above the wing, right? It was right where you'd think, right above the wing
In the
and
middle.
engine. And all
Let's
that.
take the whole damn
Yeah.
thing down. And he's and then
Enter.
detonates enter. It
Basically shoves him to the right,
It puts,
out the wall. Everybody else has time to put their little plastic mask on, and they descend, and everything's
brought it
fine.
safely down to the ground. He just goes.
What an
Enter.
asshole.
and then it put like a tiny hole in the side of the plane, which was just enough
big
to
enough
just
for him to go.
rip his entire body right out the window, and people just went, "Huh."
Wonder what that was about.
What's his problem? I don't know.
Well
he was
done, sir.
He was
Well done.
Googling something, and all of a sudden he decided to exit stage left, and boom, he was gone.
And everybody else just had time to put their shit on and land.
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Landed
Awesome.
without incident.
Yeah,
Awesome. That
yeah. There's pictures of it. It looks like a little hole in the
Yeah,
plane,
it's
and
perfect.
seems like it'd be a little more scary though than you realize, right?
Oh
yeah, the people on the ground were like, "Well, that was a mild inconvenience."
We're missing one passenger. This is odd.
We lost one of them. Police, by the way, in Europe are warning of a spectacular ISIS attack on British soil.
Paris style, right?
Yep. Scotland Yard Assistant Commissioner Mark Rowley has said the terror group is trying to build bigger attacks around the world, and the UK as one of their number one targets. The officer said that while in the past few years the group has called on would-be jihadists to attack police, military, we've seen all that. Their plots are now broader, plans to attack Western lifestyle, which we saw first displayed in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
That was, it was very targeted where they went after, the kind of clubs they went after, restaurants, lifestyle.
The Bataclan, the soccer stadium.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
one of the
and then clubs and
cafes.
stuff,
You see a terrorist group that, whilst on one hand has been acting as a cult to use propaganda to radicalize people to act in their name, you also see them trying to build bigger attacks. So that ISIS is trying to get supporters to have that have received military training in Syria and Northern Europe to stage the attacks. So they're rounding these guys up like crazy. Anyone that they even think might be a terrorist, they're rounding them up and like, "What do you know? What do you know?" And just kind of beating it out of them to figure out what they can. But it's coming, man. Something's coming. I know that sounds gloomy and doomy, but
yeah, it's hard to tamp down every one of these.
Yeah.
Those bastards want to hit us and hit us hard anywhere there's Westerners. So it's hard to be 100% successful.
yeah, it's impossible to be 100% successful. Should we take a quick time out? I need a coffee, Jay. Do you need a coffee?
I'll take one. Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick time out, and we'll come back and let's see. Oh, we got a Marine with the hiccups.
Another one of these chronic hiccup cases.
Dude, what is that?
Ugh.
It's weird. We'll get to that and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod. Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zod Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zod Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at zotford.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay, Big E. God, I went upstairs and made a delicious coffee.
Stepped on your cat.
Stepped on the cat, yeah.
Killed the environment a little bit.
The tattooed one. And the TV was on up there, and I saw Jennifer Granholm.
Ooh,
What's she doing?
Oh, she's part of Team Hillary.
sounding very shrill on CNN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's gotten some work done, man. I mean, as far as I don't know if she had rats gnawed those moles.
I think
or-
maybe she took that quarter, got on the bus, went downtown, and had a rat gnaw that shit off her face.
she's what she's done is she's kind of like the guys that are going gray, but they don't want to go completely back to jet black. So they subtly.
They take one, like, so she's taken one of these nasty witch warts off her face, but she's
Right.
left another one.
Yeah, there's one that's like shaved down, obviously,
Yeah.
but there's still a mark there. Like, no, I still have it.
Mhm.
It's still
My
here.
beauty mark?
What?
Is that what you're referring to? My beauty mark?
Jesus.
It just went away on its own. I don't know. I mean, once I grew out of puberty at 63, it finally went away. I swear to God, I cannot look at her without thinking of the time she came in studio.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Clean that up.
I know this story, right? I right, don't
That
I?
had to be messy.
You can tell it
you
again.
you guys both know this story probably, but when we were doing the new building
This is
and they
great.
were breaking ground for the new building, or maybe we just moved into the new building, and she was there for some reason. We were totally off the air, and she came in and kind of, it was like, yeah, Jennifer Granholm's coming down with her security detail, and
Well, she was always on the edge of everything that's cool.
right, and so she came into our studio, and it's Drew and me and Mark and Clark and maybe Trudy. Like, all of us are in the studio after the show, and for some reason we just had some vicious porn on. Like, we had two TVs set up in the studio, and we would get DVDs sent in or videos, whatever they were, and so we're watching this like nasty ass three-way going on, just like, huh, and all of a sudden, boom, the door comes open, and there's Granholm, and luckily I think Drew was smart enough to reach over and turn a microphone on. And by turning a microphone on, it kills the monitors in the room. So what would have been blaring through the monitors as we're just watching this, as soon as he did that, it kills the sound in the studio because you don't want feedback. So he was smart enough to just go, oh shit, and reach for it. And nobody wanted to make a subtle move like, oh shit, turn off the porn. And she just walks in. It was like you wouldn't have believed it if it was written in a movie script. You'd be like, oh, that's so unbelievable. That would never happen. But this woman, with her security detail behind us, was standing like in mine and Mark's office, and she crossed into the studio and stood directly beneath the TV. I mean, like directly beneath the TV. And she's like, oh, guys, I've been a fan forever. You guys are great. And,
Has she
doing
been,
this
by the
for a
way?
lo- yeah, right. As if.
Ask her what her favorite. You should have asked her what her favorite
Yeah,
segment
what's your
was.
favorite bit? What's your favorite moment of the show? You big fan of Stress Traffic, are you, Jennifer? And she stood there for 10 minutes as this just like fucking rape scene is going on above her head. No idea, none the wiser. And we're all just like trying to keep a straight face. Like, I can't believe this is unfolding right now in this. I can't believe it. This is unbelievable. And then she's like, okay, bye guys. Good luck with the new building. And then just kind of walked off, and we were all just like, oh, that was awesome. The greatest moments ever. It's great. Anyway, so I saw her.
Jay, you ever have a situation like that at the firm?
Yeah, at the firm.
No.
You run into that a lot.
Like
do
a
you?
big, a big employee or worker, somebody you were working with come in, and you're just like, oh, jeez. Oh, geez.
Porn rocking
Mhm.
above the doorway. No, that didn't happen.
Damn.
Wouldn't that have made life at the firm more exciting, though?
Yeah.
I mean, in a weird way. I know it would have been
In a
weird doing
way.
employment law. It probably would have been tough for you guys to justify something like that or explain that
How
away.
come you weren't a
but-
lawyer? How come? Do you ever ask yourself that? How come I wasn't a lawyer? Like when people are just doing lines of coke and hookers and not
Yeah.
hookers, maybe, but like
No hookers. You could throw hookers.
No,
in there.
but Jay went to hookers. But I'm just saying like the other stuff, like
Yeah,
just-
back in the 80s, early 90s, I guess the strip clubs were big for the lawyers, all
Oh, yeah.
running over to Canada and doing all that
they had,
shit.
they had a good coke run for a while, didn't they, lawyers?
Probably.
Yeah. Everything was better back in the day.
Yeah.
Before you had cameras and narcs everywhere, when you could do good, fine police work out there on the streets, you go into a scene and you score, whether you got to take down some bad guys, quote unquote, or you need to clean a room, quote unquote. Yeah, wink, wink. We all know what I'm talking about. Like back in the good old days when police were able to police the streets,
Right.
and keep us safe. God, I miss those days out on the beat. Hey, you find $5,000, you know, you turn in 1,000 to the station to keep
Right.
things moving, and
One for you, one for me. You're
yeah,
right.
and then you take care of your family at Christmas. Simple. It's the way it works.
Times were a simpler time back then.
Military guy, ex-Marine, veteran. He's pleading for help from the public.
This is where you probably put your phone down and reach for the video.
He
I was getting there.
he's one of these that's got a chronic case of the hiccups. God, he said it's lasted for over 2 weeks. That would so suck.
Was this a little girl we saw a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
Joel made that compilation.
Yes, totally.
It was hiccups, right?
yeah, but hers were like
Or no, it was sneezing. She was sneezing.
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
you're right.
She was
you're
like,
right.
Sneezing every like 60 times in a minute or something.
It's
Or
so weird how she just made. It's like a cat.
But it was like
sneeze.
rapid fire,
Yeah.
and it sounded like a beatbox almost,
Yeah.
which is what Joel did. He was able
That's
to
what
put it to.
inspired Joel.
Absolutely, as it should have. Ron Powell is this guy's name. He lives in Oklahoma City. He came down with the hiccups back on February 24th, and they have not left him yet. I'd really
Has he
Damn
tried
it, the
everything?
hiccups
Has he
suck.
tried scaring
I
himself?
know. I
Has
want
he
to call
tried-
him and just go boo and see what he does. See if it helps.
You could help him, dude. I don't know if he knew that or not.
There's some video from a news story of him. It's not. God, this would be so frustrating. I'd take myself out. I couldn't deal with this if it was just
Marine
constant.
veteran who survived the war in Afghanistan is asking for help to cure a chronic case
Is he?
of the hiccups. Ron Powell suddenly came down with the hiccups on
Look at
February
that poor
24th.
son
He
of
lives
a
in
bitch.
Oklahoma City, and he's seen several specialists, but they were unable to diagnose the problem. Powell and his fiance even turned to the internet. He's tried
Imagine all
home
the shit
remedies,
you'd try,
like
man.
putting sugar
Oh.
under his tongue, sucking on a lemon.
Has he
Nothing
tried a gun
has
to the
worked.
forehead yet? That's what I would try
I
next.
really appreciate any help you can get to get rid of these because, like I said, it's aggravating,
Damn it.
frustrating. Can't complete a sentence or anything.
God damn it.
Yeah, he's sucking on lemons.
Oh,
What did you have any go-to move for the
No,
hiccups? You know
don't.
what the move is?
what is it?
Always works, because I used to get the hiccups when I drink. Like when we go out drinking, like I'd get to a certain point and then I was totally that. Yeah, that's no, fuck that chick, Jay. You need to put up with her. You know, like I was that dude.
Yeah.
Finger down the throat, make yourself. You don't even have to like finish
What?
puking. If you make yourself throw up, if you trigger your gag reflex, so you could just, you know.
You're that desperate to stop hiccuping?
I hate hiccups. Hate them. You don't mind the
I
hiccups?
hate sticking my finger down my throat. I hate puking.
Yeah,
worse than
that's
hiccups.
awful.
My God, man.
I was taught way back in like, I don't know, a long time ago, that if you like plug your nose and then drink as much water as you can,
Yeah, I've
it
heard
will.
that.
And
one.
dude, it works every
I've
time.
heard
No,
that. I've heard
Dude,
drinking upside
dude,
down.
no, but that
Light-
works
light a
every time
match,
for me.
Throw it in
Every-
the water, drink the water.
I have
Oh, really?
A sulfur or some crap.
Oh, I've never heard that one.
I have never done that and not had it go away right afterwards. Never.
I've never had it not go away from doing the puke trick.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, mine sounds a lot better than yours, personally.
See if you can find a number for this guy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind calling him. See how he's doing. See if we can scare it out of him.
How can he pick up the phone even?
But I
think
wonder
the
if
hiccups
anyone's.
have not harmed his hands.
I don't know. I just figured that he would. I don't know. You're right. You're right.
We were talking about earlier before the break. We were talking about people, the ISIS thing and the attack on Al Shabaab. I don't know if you guys have seen these videos going around, but there's a new one, and you won't understand a word of it because it's in Arabic. But of these pranksters who are, playing taxi driver or something on the streets, and then they get people, unsuspecting victims, to get in the car, and then this latest one, this guy's pretending that he's strapped with a suicide belt.
Oh,
He's like, "Oh look, but I want to take you to heaven with me," and then getting the reactions, and they film it. It's
he's
on a
the
TV
taxi
show.
driver.
Yeah,
Wow.
and people are freaking out. There's a video. Maybe you can find it, E, if you get a second. There was a guy that was running around. He was dressed up as an Arab, and it's just a YouTube channel. It's something like Big E would do, and he's got a bag like you would, a school bag, and it's filled with nothing, but you don't know that. And he would just go and he would kind of sit down on a park bench next to someone, and set it down and then run away, and and then they'd have someone at a distance filming people's reactions. I mean, he's like running up to people. He'd just like walk up to people and throw the bag at them and then run away, and everyone's like, ah, and they freak the fuck out.
Oh, God.
It's this seems like so crossing the line as far as pranks go. One of the kids in this taxi one jumps out of a moving car.
See, there you go, man. You're setting yourself up for a big lawsuit. I mean, it's all fun and games until somebody hurts themselves trying to get away from your ass.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would get killed for that too. Like,
right.
Like what would happen in a court? I think you don't get convicted for that. If you have a gun in your waistband, a concealed carry, even if you don't have a concealed carry, and some guy claims he's strapped,
put it
and
to
you
his
just
head
went
and pull the
boom
trigger.
and killed him, like what are they going to convict you
Right.
of? Like, so I think this is a really dangerous prank. You know, when the video that I've asked E to search for, and I should have told you before we did this, E, sorry. But some of the kids are running, and you can tell the utter panic in them. Like they're just on a street corner. There's nothing to prevent you from just absolutely darting out into traffic and getting plowed by a car. You know what I mean? Like that's that's it. E. Look at this son of a bitch. Doesn't help the stereotypes
he's
either.
dressed as a sheik.
Yeah.
Amalaha, mahala, malaha, malaha.
Drops his bag and runs. That's awesome. Guy on a phone. Blocks the sheik. Staring at him.
Mata Dilma.
Drops the bag and goes. Guy drops the phone.
Such a dick move.
Pretty funny, dude. Actually,
there's a lot of them out there. People do. It's brutal though.
It's just an immediate reaction.
What would you do though? I mean,
I guess I'd run.
You'd run like a son of a bitch, wouldn't you?
Can't be sure it's just for fun.
Yeah, you would. I mean, the odds of it being just for fun are probably small.
Right.
God, I mean,
That's great.
what do you do if some guy literally has a heart attack? Like that's an old guy that walked up on that. That's an older guy.
Yeah.
You give a 65-year-old guy a heart attack.
Very reckless.
Yeah.
It's very reckless.
Especially in the times we're living in when it's just
everybody wants to
crazy.
sue everybody.
Yeah, right. OJ Simpson. They get the
They call me Juice, the Juice.
He apparently burst into loud, uncontrollable laughter when he heard about this knife that
He's
was
like,
found.
that ain't the knife. I threw the knife away at the airport.
bullshit. That's long gone by now.
Laughable.
He
Read
says
my book. Didn't you read the book?
when he heard news that the LAPD was testing a knife as the murder weapon that was found at his former mansion in Brentwood. It's complete bullshit. This is but this is all they got. It's pathetic, really pathetic. Let me tell you something. I'm not that stupid. I got a plane that night to Chicago. That's all I'm gonna say.
What?
First off,
that's at this point, does it matter? I guess whatever.
No,
right?
if he was smart, he would do a tell-all $1 million interview and just be like, "Yeah."
But wouldn't that money all go to the Goldmans? Then how much does he still owe them?
Yeah, maybe. But down in Florida, well, yeah, probably.
Where is he in? He's not in Florida though, right? Where is he?
He's in
Nevada. No, he's in Nevada.
That's
at
what
the
I thought.
Lovelock.
That's what I thought.
Correctional facility. But he moved to Florida before that trial, though, to avoid paying. There were like property protections or something. Which
it was
why,
about his NFL pension, right? He could get it.
No,
down
you
there?
couldn't touch his pension anyway.
Okay.
No, his pension's fine.
Yeah, that's what he's funding his slave labor currently with, right?
Right. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, man, at this point, then he's got it made because that pension's going to be coming in. I mean, he's in jail. It sucks, but he's got it as good as you could possibly
it's
get.
a decent amount every month.
Yeah. What is it, like $11,000 a month or something?
So. And think about it now: no rent, no food. I mean, free room and board right now.
Beautiful.
That's great, dude.
The interesting thing about a comment like that, let me tell you something. I'm not that stupid. I got on a plane that night to Chicago. That's all I'm going to say. That implies that I got on a plane to Chicago that night and dumped the evidence.
Of course it does.
It's not the one buried. And the fact is, if Juice didn't have anything to do with that murder, how would he know that that's not the murder weapon at his house that's buried, right? Like, you wouldn't know.
Point.
You'd be like, I have no. Maybe they did find the murder weapon. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, isn't he still looking for the murder?
It's been a frame job the whole time. Maybe somebody put it there.
Yeah. OJ told us, and these are from people inside the jail that LA police are going to look stupid again when everyone realizes this is all a hoax. OJ went on and on about how the LAPD tried to frame him and still couldn't get him. So now they are here they are 20 years later, and they're still trying to prove he killed Nicole and Ron. He said they were just a bunch of pathetic racists. Nicole. Yeah.
Or I'd say Nicole.
Nicole. I would never hurt Nicole. OJ was laughing, but he was also really pissed off. OJ says the LAPD, Marcia Clark, Chris Darden, and the rest of those bitches made money off my name, writing books, doing interviews. Now there's a new TV series about the murders, and they're making money off of that too. So now somebody else wants to write a book about a fucking knife. OJ,
you should be in jail for life anyway. It doesn't matter, my man. Like you've murdered somebody. You're lucky that you got anything after that.
OJ was apparently ranting while he was waiting in the lunch line at the jail, and he was just holding court like OJ's known to do. OJ loves holding court, and all the other inmates in line were laughing along with him. He's like, who the hell believes the LAPD officer would hold on to a knife for 20 years when he could have made a ton of money at the time, and then all of a sudden he wants to frame it and put it on a wall, a bloody knife hanging on a living room wall? Come on.
They're all, hell yeah, OJ.
Come on, get the hell out of here.
People just laughing uproariously at OJ's storytelling.
They could have got me convicted with the murder weapon. And if I had buried it, why didn't the cops see the ground had been dug up? They were all over the place like flies for weeks.
Good point, OJ.
Yeah, very good point. I love the whole racist police angle, as if OJ was your typical black man in Los Angeles in that time. He was known as the mayor of Brentwood. He was beloved by all. This idea that has been sold to people of a mass conspiracy to bring down O.J. Simpson.
I specifically remember
comical.
The point at which race was suggested in that case, and I remember thinking, "Oh my gosh!" Like I've never thought about that. Never thought about that somebody would be racist against OJ. He's just OJ. Everybody likes OJ.
Everybody loves OJ. And even if there was one like bitter cop, say Mark Furman was this horrible racist, and like he was going after OJ, like the idea that he'd be able to get 100 other cops on board with this story.
Yeah.
Marcia Clark talks a lot about how that was just the way it was. If you had, because this was on the heels of the Rodney King case too, which was just a couple of years earlier. That if you had a black defendant going to court in LA at that time, it was 100% certainty that that the race card was going to be played. Like that's just the way it was. So it was no shock to them. I mean, it was kind of a shock, like really, even with OJ. But Cochran made a living. That was Cochran's whole practice was playing the race card against defendants that were abused by the system and shit. But yeah, it's just laughable when you think about OJ. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, the Eagles, rough month for the Eagles.
Indeed. Glenn Fry and now this.
Who we know, Glenn Fry.
Well, Mugget.
God damn it, she's a good woman. She's such a good woman. She was with one of the Eagles for Christ's sakes.
Did she mourn, do you think, when that news happened? Did a little bit of her remember back?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what did she go to prom with, Glenn Fry?
I think it was prom or a homecoming.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, what could have been.
Yeah. All those songs could have been written about Margaret.
Maybe they were. We don't know that they weren't.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe she broke his heart and that set him on the career path of songwriting.
Witchy Woman, was that the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, Witchy Woman. Yeah, it's written about Margaret. Damn, witchy woman.
She's a Desperado.
Yeah, Desperado. It's about Marg. Of course it is. The wife of the Eagles bass player, Randy Meisner, has been shot dead at the couple's home.
What?
Yeah. Amid reports of domestic abuse.
See, the funny thing is when you first said wife, I was about to be like, okay, whatever. But then shot on domestic abuse, a little different.
Yeah, Lana Meisner's name, 63. She was shot in the head and died on Sunday.
It's all a big misunderstanding. You just listen to the facts.
Okay,
Don't worry.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm prejudging.
She shared the home, obviously, with her famous husband, Randy. The pair had been married for 20 years. Around 90 minutes before Randy called police to report that his wife had been killed, Lana called 911 herself to report a domestic abuse.
Ooh.
That's a coincidence you don't want happening on the same day.
Yeah, even if you didn't do it, you really don't want that.
Lana reported that Randy was waving a BB gun around and acting erratically at 5:30 on Sunday. Police attended the couple's home after getting reports of possibly an intoxicated male and took a domestic violence report. And then we're like, well, see you later. Love the Eagles. Big fan. Huge fan.
And
then
an hour later.
And then at 6:59, Randy called officers and said, "Oh my God, my wife accidentally shot herself in the head."
Oh my God!
Crazy.
Come on.
She was handling a gun in the closet and it went off.
Yeah,
Right in her head.
He said, "Yeah, she went to another room, and then I heard a gunshot, and I came in and I found her dead." He told officers that she was stumbling around looking for something in the closet where they kept a couple guns, and then one of them fell. She attempted to catch the weapon, and in the process, shot herself
How
in
does
the
he
face.
know that? How does he know that's what happened then?
I don't know.
That's just
Speculated.
Yeah.
Yeah. She kept her favorite shoes right near the gun case. And
Yeah.
Must have fallen, hit her right in the head.
A spokesman for the LAPD said after a thorough investigation, this happened Sunday, very thorough investigation by the Bureau of Detective Personnel in the LA Coroner's Office, it was determined that her death was accidental.
what?
Oh, come on.
What?
Well, Miss Meisner she was moving a rifle that was stored inside a case in a closet.
Come on.
As she lifted the rifle
Dude.
case, another item within the case shifted, hit the trigger of the rifle, causing it to fire and fatally injure Miss Meisner.
God, it must be nice to be rich and wealthy.
Randy reportedly has been suffering from bipolar disorder and threatened to shoot people in the past.
Oh, it gets worse.
Come
It gets
on.
worse.
They're-
There's been a thorough investigation, though. They've determined something in the case fell into the trigger. And
Yeah, you
I
know how
mean,
that is.
ah,
You would think you would need more pressure on the trigger to fire the gun into the face of Miss Meisner, but whatever. They did a thorough investigation. What are you going to do? Randy's a
Come
sweet
on.
bass player, amazing voice. I mean, the Eagles.
I know. I mean, if you take this guy out, then how are we really going to keep the tour going?
Well,
I mean,
he's not really part of the Eagles anymore. I think
Oh.
they booted him because he was crazy.
he was an original.
Yeah, he was a founding member.
Oh,
Yep.
well, then who cares?
He was,
Put him in jail.
He sang "Take It to the Limit."
Take
It to the limit.
Oh, am I-
And if you think about "Take It to the Limit," take it to the limit one more time, like that really high part. That was like his moment. He wrote that song.
Oh, and that
And-
was his big moment. His
Yeah,
big
and-
crescendo.
Remember we were talking yesterday about if this show like 20 years from now when we all hate each other,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's like
More
I'm not-
more so, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's already close to there now,
Right.
but like just
it's
demanding, I'm not doing the judge. I'm not doing it. Fuck the crown. Like Jay refuses to do
you
that.
have
on
5,000
stage.
people out there, Jay. All they
Do
need
the
to,
just do the crown, dude.
Dude,
One more
the crown
time. Just do
has
it.
to
Come on,
speak.
just
you can retire,
I'll be in my dressing room backstage. Jay will be kicking the door in, going, "It's time for Look at the Proofs. Just get out and do Look at the Proofs. Fuck you. I'm not doing Look at the Proofs. I'm not doing it." Like, the infighting will be just at
massive.
a huge. It'll be just about the money. I'll be huge if I'm even still alive. By then, you'll probably be on your third mic. There'll be a third Mike Walters.
You're right, yeah, you're right. There'll just be another Mike Walters.
You just hire a guy that sort of kind of looks like me and can go, "Look at it, Proofs."
It's like
He
the
does-
replacement Duke boys.
Yeah, I'll be like the Journey lead singer.
Yeah.
The guy's got an amazing voice. He does a Look at the Proofs almost as good. Some guy will come in and you'll have
Right.
auditions, people going, "Look at that, Proofs."
No.
I'm not feeling it.
Something's off.
Look at it,
Ah, it's just,
Nah. And then some turd's gonna walk in the door and go, "Look at it, Proofs."
Good enough.
Well.
Good enough.
Well, very good, sir.
I mean, Jay's already been running this show now, so it's not like he needs opinions. He doesn't need a personality
Just need the right
necessarily.
voice.
Yeah.
yeah. So these
And
guys
know how to
apparently,
step in line.
these guys got into a brawl because Randy's like, "Fuck it, I ain't doing Take It to the Limit, not one more time." I guess it was really hard to
Really?
sing that really high note that you have to hit and take it to the limit. And so he wanted to have his voice warmed up. Massey did the same thing. They all do that. Like, I need to be at a certain point. And so when he'd be in a bad mood or pissed off, he's like,
No
he'd
way.
take a
Not
knee.
going there.
Not doing it. They'd be like, "It's our fucking encore, Meisner. Get your ass out there and do Take It to the Limit. They've paid big money to see you sing and hit the high note. Now hit the high note."
Take it to the limit one more time.
Yes, we're going to need you to take it to the limit one more time.
Really? And he just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it. I think he got into a fist fight with Fry backstage over it.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
You always, I guess, think or
Perspective,
hope,
gentlemen.
right? Right.
I know. You're on a multi-million-dollar tour. Just get out there, Meisner, and do Take It to the Limit.
Shouldn't have written such a high note if you didn't want to
Shouldn't have
do
read
it.
such a good
Yeah.
song that people wanted to hear. That's what dude, that bums me out. I like that song a lot, man.
Yeah.
See, if I would have seen them the last few times they came, I wouldn't have heard it. Unless I guess they still sing it, or I wonder maybe they still do it.
Yeah, they've got a new bass player who was in the same band, Paco, I believe, that Randy Meisner was in originally. And so they got a replacement
I
guy
wonder if he sings it.
who can sing, and he's a great vocalist, but he's not Randy Meisner. Like that's what the Eagles are known for, is their vocal harmonies, their 5-piece harmonies. They're amazing. And so to replace any one of them, it's like it alters the sound for sure. But back to Randy, he apparently reportedly was suffering from bipolar. In July of 2015, his friend James Newton was granted temporary conservatorship over Randy after he allegedly threatened to gun everyone down with an AK-47.
Oof.
Yeah, this is starting to sound like, who's the guy with the crazy ass hair?
Oh yeah,
Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Phil Spector was like that, like in the recording studio with guns and like shooting out walls and shit, just going crazy. I feel like, ooh,
Who's he with?
Phil Spector. He was the producer.
Okay.
He had the crazy ass, looked like a hair bear.
Ended up killing a D-list actress in his foyer.
Yes.
After a party. He's in jail right now, right?
Yeah. Yep. He is. Look up Phil Spector in court. Just
awesome.
Oh, we've looked at this before for some reason. I don't remember why, but we have looked at this guy
because he's Phil Spector.
No, but there was another story we were doing that someone looked like
Look
him.
at that son of a bitch.
Look at that.
Woo!
And then you see him up here looking like a rat
He's
without
teasing
his hair.
it. Look at him teasing it. Yeah. Wow. Oh, gross.
This
Crypt
is
Keeper,
changing.
man.
Has there ever been a more changing the subject when you look at the
know.
differences? Like,
Crypt
dude,
Keeper, indeed.
this is crazy hair, but he doesn't look horrible. But when you look at
different.
this, it looks like a fucking not a human being.
It's hair, but that's Gollum like.
Yeah.
Isn't that? Do you see some Gollum
He
in
does
there?
not look like a human being in this image.
Trixie Hobbitses. Yeah,
Exactly.
he's grody.
So he's the one that did the Let It Be album. Phil Spector.
Really?
Yeah, he did the Wall of Sound on Let It Be, and which is why Let It Be Naked came
Yes.
out.
Took
Just
all that out.
10 years ago, and they removed all the massive strings and all that shit, which is the way McCartney wanted that album to sound. So anyway, this guy is granted conservatorship over Martin and said that Lana was in denial about the singer's various conditions, had done little to help battle them. Newton alleged that Lana was keeping Randy drunk round the clock with vodka because he was easier to control when he was shit-faced.
Wow.
So she's just like, get him hammered. What a life, man.
Wow, yeah.
Just sit there and be wasted all day because
On
you're
orders.
less of a handful to deal with.
But what
It's
a
just-
crazy circumstance for this accidental shooting to have occurred. Everything's pointing to this guy having shot her in the head.
Well,
and they're just like, well, thorough investigation.
thorough investigation
Thorough.
was done.
Seems like a very technical set of circumstances that just happened with the thing falling and something in the case.
And
That's
an
incredible.
hour after he's
Yes.
waving a BB gun around
After
about
she's
the house.
reporting domestic violence. This is incredible. This
Yeah.
needs to be reopened. We need to reopen this.
But he can sing his balls off, Jay. I mean, does that amount for
Yeah.
nothing?
But does he do that
That
anymore?
counts
He's not
for
in the
nothing
band
in your book?
anymore, right? Is he on a side project right now? I mean,
I don't know, but
if
I mean,
he's not, then who
He's a
cares?
founding member of the Eagles. You should be able to kill one person in your life if you're a founding member of the Eagles. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I'll agree with
Maybe
Tell
that.
me Joe Walsh has never
How
been.
You know what?
How
I
big
agree
do we-
with you, like vehicular homicide, something like that. But no, you can't just shoot your wife.
I agree.
You know,
what if you
he
were
could
told-
Caitlyn Jenner somebody, but he
Yes,
can't.
he's not at the level of like Elvis or something who could.
How big do you have to be? Could Elvis shoot somebody in the head?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think if you're a Beatle, you can shoot someone. You could probably
Yes.
shoot a few people in the head if you're a Beatle.
Yeah.
The King, could get away with it.
There's only got to be a few, right?
Mike
Vince-
Jackson back in the day. I mean, he molested little kids.
Yeah,
left and
Mike
right.
Jackson can pull it off. Who's big enough started today?
To
Could
murder
Beyonce
somebody?
kill someone?
I don't think there's a star big enough that you could shoot somebody.
Be a lot harder today.
Well,
The stars come and go so much faster.
I mean, Trump declared it. He could murder someone in the
That's
streets.
true. That's
Who
true.
is? I can't think of one.
Lana was also accused of leaving Randy unwashed for up to a month at a time.
Leaving him unwashed.
Well, yes, exactly. It's outrageous. She
She's a
deserves
rock
to be
star,
shot
God
for
damn
that.
it.
You get in there and you bathe your man. What's the matter with you? He's 69.
Oh man! After a month, can you imagine?
And while he was just sitting there hammered, being unwashed by his shit wife, she was just pissing away his millions, they said, on cosmetic surgery, vacations, and home renovations. So she's just bringing people in like, oh my God, let's do this. Let's do a color coordinate this with that. And here's this dude just stinksing in the corner, hammered drunk on vodka.
I wrote "Take it to the
Take it to the limit.
Take it to the limit."
What a mess. He was also Martin, this guy that got conservatorship, was also quizzed about a bizarre incident in which Lana had left a voicemail message claiming that neighbors dressed in clown suits had been spying on her and were going to report her to the police for using coke.
Clown suits.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know.
rough,
I'm
rough
both
couple
ways.
months for the Eagles.
I'm
man.
on both sides here because after hearing her, if she's going to be spending all of his millions on all that stuff, I
She
mean,
deserved it.
she didn't deserve it, but
Well,
you understand in
you
your life.
could make a case that she deserved
You have
it.
a lot better life. You have to if you got to at least bathe him. If you're going on trips and you're just living this lap of luxury, I think you got to bathe your man at least.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but spring is around the corner. Let Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban take care of your spring cleaning. When you list your home with Krista, she will have your whole house cleaned before it hits the market. Check out Krista's website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900.
Talking about drugs and what they lead people to do. There's a chick who was got into a little fender bender, it sounds like, in Houston, and then decided to hop on top of a big rig, strip naked, and dance for everybody in
I
traffic.
bet she was hot.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Does that change the case if she's smoking hot? I mean, to me, I look at that and go, what are you gonna do? You
Well,
little
it's certainly-
angel. You little angel.
Certainly, you adjust the sentence, I think, based on whether
Based on
she
her looks.
well how badly she damaged the public.
Let's take a look at her video.
We might be looking at
Some
life.
major time.
this might be a life sentence.
Is this a bath salt situation?
Perhaps.
On top of a semi, yep. Ooh. So semi is just stopped in 3 lanes of traffic. There she is, atop. Just perched atop.
Which one's the semi?
Yeah, we're-
Is she on top of the semi, or is the semi on top
She's
of her?
squatting? Is that yeah, okay. She's kind of
There's
leaning
other
back.
video
Yeah.
of her. Do you have other video?
Can't even make anything out. What is that?
Oh. Is that human? Are we sure that's not a shaved orangutan? Are we sure?
Well, if you go here a second.
What
You know,
is she sitting like with her knees in her chest? Is that
Yeah,
the deal?
I think they're blurring it out.
they are. I thought
Gotcha.
here. If you look at the images, it's almost better, I think, to have just
The images.
Yeah.
not
Oh no!
better,
Oh
not better.
no!
Make
She
them bigger.
stood up. She stood up.
Make them bigger.
Is she in a fat suit?
Not-
Oh God!
What do you think? Life sentence?
Oh God! Yes, the public has been damaged. That is an assault on the public. My God, man!
How did she get up there?
The rolls? Seriously, that's a good question.
Oh, look at that ass crack. Woo!
They brought in a cherry picker. Damn it!
They did.
Yeah, they had to. Aerial footage showed the woman sitting, dancing, and standing at various times.
Ah, that's the most damaging one.
Are you thinking class action
Yes.
for anybody that was watching?
Right. If you
Houston that
drove
day?
by, you get at least like $100, $200, something.
There's going to be commercials on TV.
If
Burned
you,
on your psyche.
Have you been injured?
Have you been injured? Have you been injured? Did you see this?
Did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this?
Look at
you have
that
to like prove on your
shit.
phone though that you're in that road, so you can.
God damn it!
Do you
Because
think?
the legs are relatively thin compared to what's going on up above.
I was going to say, do you think? And I know this is going to take a tremendous amount of imagination.
Okay.
Do you think at some point there was a human in there? Like
It really looks like a suit of sorts.
it does, right? Like if you stripped away like 400 pounds of that, do you think there's a body in there somewhere at
It
some
almost
point?
does look like you could take a knife to it and just kind of shave it down.
Yeah.
Mm. Nah.
What is going on there?
Is that worse or is
No, don't pull out the purple taint.
I don't know.
You got to see it, Jay. It's like
For-
a knot. It's
for
like a purple knot.
context. We're a show for context.
Yeah. What's worse?
Dude.
She was seen spitting at least one officer who was standing on the truck's platform. I think you got to take it down.
Oh, that's the least of it.
I think you take it down.
for context?
Get that off your phone.
Nah,
Or
that's
your
a-
mom finds
Don't you
that.
dare get that off your phone.
This is gonna
Listen
become the
to
new
him.
Justin Verlander.
God, I forgot about that.
It's not known what vehicle she was driving and why she got out to the big rig. An officer said that she was talking throughout the ordeal but wasn't making any sense.
I reckon.
Obviously hammered on something. And then there was a woman who got busted for drunk driving.
Oh, this is great.
Fuck, man. She was caught driving around with a 15-foot tree impaled into her car's grill.
What is the diameter of that trunk, do you think?
6 inches?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big ass
So
tree.
she's wailed this tree, uprooted it. The thing is stuck in her grill / hood / engine, whatever compartment. And she's driving around with this thing just stuck, full tree.
Yeah. Marianne Christie, she's 54 years old. This happened back in January near Chicago, Illinois. She's 54. After concerned residents spotted the tree and were like, something just doesn't look right with that. And so they called the cops. They were able to quickly track her down, and they noticed both of her airbags had been deployed. Likely, they say the result of hitting the tree. Seems like quite a limb they're going out on there, if you will.
Well.
She smelled of alcohol, failed a field sobriety test before they arrested her.
I just think if she hits a human, and that's just a person impaled in that thing. And
yeah,
she's
that could
whipping
happen.
around.
That'd probably be worse, though. That'd be a worst case scenario.
Depending on who the person is.
There's not. This is a news story, but I was going to. But there is a.
Look closely at the car.
Look at her just driving down a 2-lane freeway.
In the front. I
love it.
Roselle. Another motorist
How we doing,
spotted
ma'am?
the car plus tree driving along, called police. The driver was cited for DUI. Police estimated that
We're
tree was about
talking like, I don't
15
know.
feet
We're
tall.
talking not just a sapling, a mature sapling.
Yeah.
Something you'd probably spend $850 to $1,000 to put into the center of a decorative tree, a nice maple.
This is not like the one that was planted for Mike Brown's memorial. That was shorn
this
down.
is far larger.
Much bigger. What do you do, though? If you're hammered, you're driving around, you slam into a tree and it impales with you hit with such force that it uprooting a tree. Literally uprooting a tree. It drove itself into her engine. What is she supposed to? They said she drove for like 3 miles with that thing like that. Would you try to get home? Would you just bail on the car?
You can't extract said foliage.
I guess
you've tried.
It's a big tree. I'm assuming she tried. She's probably hammered too. I mean, that would suck to wake up the next morning. If you made it home, to wake up the next morning and be like, damn it, I thought that was a dream.
Dude, if you made it home, that would be awesome. That would be the best story ever.
You just walked out. You got your coffee and your travel mug.
Holy
your briefcase.
shit.
Wow.
Neighbors are coming out. What happened? Really tied one on, Marianne.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I think you got to do the
Damn
thing
neighborhood kids. Look what they did to my car.
Dude, I think you got to do the move that sometimes people hear. You deal with a hit and run, or leaving the scene of crime. You get out of your car and book it home.
Yeah, that's
and then
no
they can't get you on DUI, right? They can't get you on a DUI.
My car went out of control.
Car went out of control. I hit something. I hit my head, and I didn't know where I was. I was discombobulated. I went home.
Take the leaving a crime.
Dude,
take the whatever.
It's a no-brainer. If you can walk away without people seeing you, you get the fuck away from the car. That's textbook rule.
Yes.
Beat it.
Problem is, she's wasted, so she's not thinking straight, Mike.
Yeah. I can get home.
You got this.
I can do this.
I can just get through this forest.
Tree just keeps saying, "What's up with this?"
Just gotta make it through the forest, and I'll be right home.
That tree.
I can't see through the tree from this forest.
Unreal. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
It's
so absurd.
I would hope not.
The shit cops have to deal with out on the
Jay
road.
declares that he's never seen anything like it. She was driving with a full tree in the front of her car.
It's remarkable.
And then we got this is kind of something we've talked about before. You would do this, Jay, turn someone in.
Yeah, absolutely.
This pilot was apparently getting his chick was like, "I'm leaving you." His wife. It's like, "I'm leaving you." He's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm about to get on a plane and I'm going to take it down."
Nice.
He's a
Way
pilot.
to go, problem solver.
Yeah, so he was about to fly 200 people in this plane.
Oh my god!
He's in Italy. He was stopped by police minutes before takeoff.
It's like the German guy. What, last year, right?
Yeah. The German wings pilot, Lubitz. What was his name?
No idea.
Yeah, it was Lubitz.
Barely remember he was German.
Yeah. Well, he was the German wings pilot. Was he German? I think he was. I don't remember. But this guy was intercepted by officers at the airport after his wife warned police he was planning to kill himself. He was about to take control of a Rome to Japan flight, but was substituted. Passengers had no idea. They were just like, "Hey, come here, you," and they just yanked him off the plane and threw some other dude in there for the plane to go on its way. The incident, which has only been just now revealed, happened in January, 2 months before Andreas Lubitz killed 149 people when he deliberately crashed that Germanwings jet. And they said he was suffering from mental problems. Remember, he was trying to hide it.
Yeah.
Like they wanted him taking stuff. And that got into that whole argument about should people that are in charge of the public safety be required to release their medical records, because it became like a HIPAA laws thing where this is my private stuff. It's none of your business what my medical doctors say. It's like, yeah, dickhead, but you're flying 200 people around. I think the public has a right to know. He threatened to take his own life when his wife said she was taken off. But when she refused to change her mind, he texted her to say, "I'm going to crash my plane with 200 people on board tonight." And so she contacted police, and that's how this all came about. They said this isn't the first time this has happened, by the way. One guy said, this Italian pilots union spokesman said another incident happened 3 years ago when a pilot was suspended after his wife raised the alarm. He was reinstated, though, on the condition that he undergoes various checks. So as long as we put some checks and balances.
I don't think you want any of that on your record. I think one's enough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you have a trouble spot like that, like there's just too much responsibility when you're talking about flying families around the world. You just can't have it.
They're walking amongst us, as you know.
I know.
It's such a touchy, incredibly complicated subject, the whole mental health thing and what's too far, when do you turn somebody in, quote unquote, what's family supposed to do and when, what happens if the guy doesn't want to take his meds. It's just, man. Yeah.
Because the meds make him feel groggy or whatever. And it's a tough spot because you can imagine when it gets to the point where someone says, "I'm leaving you," you're a married couple, and she says, "Fuck it, I'm out, I'm done with you." When it gets to that point, it's built up. So there's probably been numerous accounts, and I'm just speculating here, but there's probably been blowout arguments, fights where it's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'll kill myself." Like he's probably declared that before, but for whatever reason, this time it was taken seriously enough by this woman, and whether or not he would have gone through with it,
right?
Like it's just crazy to think like what would happen to that one if it's like he actually did. He nosedives his plane. That would be global news, obviously huge. Which would suck for us because the plane crash stories, I just don't. They suck to cover.
Well, what if he wouldn't have done anything, and this is just like a squabble between him and his wife, and he's looking at it going, "I wasn't. Are you kidding me? I would never do that. That was just me gaining leverage in our argument."
Yeah, I wanted her to feel bad as I was taken off, and wanted her to think. I know, but it's a dangerous ground, and it makes you can make that argument because you technically haven't done anything yet. It's like it's always after the incident happens that you can go, "Why didn't we see the signs? We should have seen the signs."
Yeah, why didn't that wife call? Well, she did. So
yeah, I mean, if I
was averted or maybe not, who knows?
Yeah, you just don't know, and the story comes and goes in an instant because he didn't actually take down a plane and kill 200 people. He'll probably be back in the cockpit in no time.
I reckon.
Because I imagine you'd have a good argument. Look, man, I things got a little testy between me and the old ball and chain, if you know what I mean.
You know what I'm talking about, guys. Am I right?
You've all been there, right?
I didn't whack her.
Yeah, I didn't punch her in the face. I just texted her some bullshit. Anyway, I got a flight to catch. See ya.
Hey, got to mention our Amazon link, Mike.
Amazon.
It's really an incredible company.
There has never been a company quite like Amazon.
Jay, I just worry they're not going to have everything I'm looking for. That's my problem with Amazon.
There is very little Amazon doesn't have.
You'll find the Amazon link on our website, DetroitCast.com. It's the perfect way to support the show. Just shop through it. Go through our portal. That's the key. You can't just go to Amazon.com. You got to go through our portal. If you shop and you buy stuff, we get a bit of a kickback. So awesome way to donate to the show. So please use that. And Mike, we do have some email if you wanted to get to that. Or
I do.
Okay.
Please,
well,
I'd like to.
This email segment, Mike, is brought to you by Merck, our buddy. In today's complex financial environment, timely insights and careful guidance are essential to effectively manage your money and work toward your goals. Mark Leibovitz can help you develop an investment strategy to address your needs and aspirations. Call today. Tell him you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation, 248-626-2000, and ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Have you been cheating our listeners out of videos today?
No.
Yeah, because I have good authority that says you have not been putting videos up.
What videos haven't been up?
Well,
I'd like to know.
You know, I've got a listener who's commented on YouTube who says,
you, Jay.
tell that effing idiot of a producer to get his head out of his ass and put the video on the screen so viewers can see it.
What video?
How many freaking times does shithead have to be reminded?
What video?
What did we watch?
I'd like him to, because everyone I've not, I don't think there's a video that wasn't put on there. I'd like to know which one he's talking about.
Ooh.
There should have been an example there, dude. I put the tree video up. I put the lady on the pickup truck up. I put
yeah, that was the second half of the show.
I know.
All second half. First half.
What video did we play?
Pictures, video. I don't know.
Well, you can't just. That's bullshit.
I'm just reporting what the listeners have reported.
The messenger.
He needs to write an example.
Cannot attack me in this instance.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Bill writes in with another great comment about Kyle Mayer. This is the time to use Kyle Mayer. I mean, we're coming up on April 15th, right around the corner. Yep. Tax season is definitely upon us. King Chaz, Etard and Nerd, I'd like to thank you for recommending Kyle Mayer. He was great to work with, extremely convenient. Got all my information to him electronically, and boom, I had my money. I then was able to pay an extremely low price for his services via PayPal. I'm recommending him to my friends, even non-listeners.
Awesome.
Wow, even non-listeners.
That's great.
How come you're friends with people that don't listen to the show?
Yeah,
seems odd.
That is weird.
I don't know
Sounds
anybody.
like you have to send out 2 emails today,
right?
Informing them about Kyle's fine services and about the fine show you listen to.
Katie writes in, my favorite guys and Big E. Last night, my boyfriend and I were lying
supine
in bed.
Prone.
She doesn't say whether it was supine or prone. I'm guessing supine, lying there, quietly talking before falling asleep. I'm guessing supine.
Okay.
I was telling him a story of a little girl, and he asked, how old is she? I started to say, I don't know, 3, and he turns and screams in my ear. You're not How didn't I see that coming, she says.
Yeah, you just don't. In the moment, you don't expect anyone to be so vicious as to attack your eardrums in a fashion like that.
Winky face from Katie. Love the show. Thank you, Katie.
Now that he got a reaction out of you, Katie, expect, you're not 100 to land a lot more.
David writes in, to the politically correct cult leader, the smug voice in my head, and the cum-guzzling greasy plume. Hello again, fellas. I have a major bone to pick with the one called Miguel. I hearken back to episode 535 when Mike says nothing bothers him more than frivolous lawsuits like spilled McDonald's coffee. Nay, sir, says David. I've heard this statement so much growing up that I took it as well-known fact that someone purposely spilled McDonald's coffee on their lap to cash in against a big corporation. No, that's not what she accidentally spilled it.
Yeah.
No, she won like $85 million, dude.
I thought there was I thought they appealed that and it got knocked way down.
Probably got knocked down. But that's what everybody thinks of when they think frivolous.
Oh, yeah. That's like
the coffee's too hot.
Right.
Yep.
Let me enlighten you, says David. This was no frivolous lawsuit. I turn your attention to a documentary called Hot Coffee. And he provides the link if you're interested, Miguel, in which it delves deep into the case of Stella Liebeck versus McDonald's. After seeing this documentary, you'll be convinced that this entire case was just a way to overhaul civil lawsuits in America and is a big part of tort reform and why there is such a negative stigma on suing people nowadays. Well, yeah, it may have led to reform, but that doesn't take it out of the frivolous category itself.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, you know.
And the fact is it got attention because of the details of the case. It's not like it was brought to the attention of the public to bring to bring into conscience frivolous lawsuits. The details of that case brought it to the
correct, and then that's what led to
eyeballs.
That's what led to reform. It was like, oh my god, it was definitely a poster child for the reform that was going on at the time.
Yeah,
but it was people pointed out like, yeah, this is absurd because of the enormous verdict this woman was able to get.
But as you've told us many times, Jay, we all remember some of the who's the local guy, Jeff Feiger.
Yeah,
Feiger would be grandiose in declaring, "Oh, I got $100 million for so and so. I'm suing for $125 million." And even if he'd win that judgment, that would quickly get overturned, and then the payout would pale in comparison, but it would never make the press then.
Right.
Having $1 million judgment isn't newsworthy. Having $100 million judgment is newsworthy.
Yeah, he'd break every evidentiary rule in the book, and it'd get overturned, and
right,
or not overturned, but it'd get knocked down, or sometimes overturned.
Yeah.
So what David does here, though, is he does us the pleasure of providing a pic of Miss Stella Liebeck's injuries.
Oh, no.
Would you like to see this, Mike? And you can judge for yourself whether this is frivolous or not.
Is this a vagine shot?
Mike.
I know. Is that what this is going to be?
Just look at Miss Liebeck. and you judge whether she's due some compensation.
Well, you know. Here, you move out of the way real quick.
I think we need a before shot, though. We need to know how damaged that was before.
Yeah.
Because that is not looking ideal in any way.
Well, when you compare it to some lawsuits,
But again, isn't it though? But she spilled coffee. It wasn't McDonald's.
The coffee was like 290 degrees or some shit.
It looks like it ended up being, by the way, not official because it's undisclosed, but it looks like it ended up going just under 600,000 in the end.
Really?
It's undisclosed what the
600
actual
grand. I think McDonald's got off with a steal.
Yeah.
How does that get knocked down from 85 or 100 million dollars to 600 grand?
I'm throwing 85 million.
It looks like it was
I thought it was 100 million. I
It
thought
looked-
that was the big headline, was $100 million judgment.
Dude, unless I'm looking at the wrong one, but this 1994, known as the McDonald's coffee case, it looks like it was only $2.7 million.
No, there was
okay. What am I
something that was
looking? I don't know what I'm
enormous.
looking at here.
Or
then,
maybe
but-
I've trumped it up in my mind.
I know.
No,
but
no,
listen,
no,
this
Jay,
is
you're
Liebig's
absolutely right.
attorneys argued that it was 180 to 190 degrees. McDonald's coffee. I mean, the jury damages included 160,000 to cover medical expenses, 2.7 million in punitive damages. The judge's trial reduced the final to 640,000.
There you go. What are we thinking then, Miguel?
Then it settled out.
Why are we thinking of this thing as so exorbitant?
Was it just was it one of the first times we'd seen someone go after $100 million? Is that I mean, we were young at the time when that happened. What year was that, E?
94?
Weren't that young. Shit. I don't know, dude. I remember that.
What
just
happened
being,
to our minds on this one?
I don't know. I thought she won a huge thing. It
Yeah.
was like, this is absurd. She spilled coffee in her lap and McDonald's has to pay $100 million. But it was a different time back then. The frivolous lawsuit was a real thing, but not quite as bad as it is now.
If she got like 2 million for that now, I don't know that many people would blink.
They wouldn't blink.
You know, you'd be like,
that.
oh, damn, McDonald's. You know,
Yeah.
Look at the poor old lady has some crotch injury.
Just think what
Can't really
he could have
tell
gotten.
what it was like before, but
Yeah. If he could have found someone to sue for when he lit his balls on.
yeah.
He
Who
could
could
have
I
pinned that
sued, I
on
wonder?
Burger King or
yourself.
something.
I don't.
No, but no, I couldn't. But he said if I could have found someone. I said I don't know that who I could have found.
You'd have to find
MTV?
corporate America, though. Yeah, MTV.
I guess I could just say
MTV made me stupid.
right.
No, but if
I
it
was
says
trying
like,
to copy MTV. You admit it.
I'm not. No, I
He
do
admits it.
I do not
finally.
admit it. I'm saying if I had to stretch for someone to sue, if you were in the mindset.
And why
of-
is it? Why do you bring up MTV? Why not?
You know
E!
the
News?
obvious reason.
No, why? Why?
Because it was obviously following it. Dude, that'd be like saying any band, dude. Oh, any band that's the first punk rock. So is there no other band could go on? No
He's
other
still
TV
trying to
show?
defend his jackass.
I've never. No,
show.
I've only
Had a
said.
skull and crossbones as
No,
the
it did
logo.
not. No, it did not.
Had a banjo opening music.
No, it did not. For one, none of those things are both false. But
Skull and Crossbones
all
wasn't false.
I ever. Yes, it is. That was a very early. The DVD that we finally made did not have whatever. But all I ever
Still
said
fighting
is that
this,
I
dude.
never
I know.
watched an episode of Jackass before I started doing it. I didn't watch any episode. I didn't see it. I loved it since. I have the whole series on
I know
DVD.
we've heard this. If you filed suit against, what is it, Dick House? Is that the
Yeah.
production company?
Yeah.
If you filed suit after Dick House and MTV and said, I was a huge fan of Jackass, I watched it for
You'd get hit with
years,"
costs immediately. That would,
Would
go
you?
nowhere.
I bet
that's so
I
frivolous.
I bet there's a lawyer that would take that case
Dude,
for the headlines of it.
You know the warning that comes up. The first frame of
Right.
that show is
Don't do
warning,
this.
Don't
Don't
do that,
Right.
dude.
That doesn't
is the
absolve you
That
from.
is the dumbest argument ever.
Oh, we've seen lawyers take dumb arguments all the time.
Look,
And
I'm
run
not,
ready
to
I'm not
pay
making
costs.
the, I'm not
Let's-
making the argument. I never thought
You're
about it.
ready
for
to
a
pay
sec.
costs. I don't think you have any. I don't think you have the funds to do
Well,
that.
he's got a lawyer who could do it for free. Will you bring
The
the
lawyer's
suit?
not gonna. The lawyer's gonna stick him with the costs, man.
I know, but he's got a free lawyer in you, so you do it.
Bullshit.
You bring the lawsuit.
You're putting this on me. I have never for one
Can't
second
believe you're
thought
gonna
about
make
it.
this
He
argument.
still has itchy balls. It affects us. We have grounds for a case, in my opinion. I'll argue this in court. Can I argue in court? Can I defend?
You could be a Supreme Court justice, as we determined the other
I
day.
know.
You don't need formal legal training. You just need legal training. You do not need to be a lawyer to be the next Supreme
Right.
Court justice.
I think, and I could argue that I would make a great Supreme Court justice.
think a
kind of
an air of practicality
yes
is what this nation
Don't you
needs.
think I could do that?
Don't you think he'd really excel in delegating, not taking all the power himself, really delegating, finding the right people to do the work for him?
Yeah.
There'd be
like, wait, what is this? You write opinions? Wait, what? I don't write opinions.
Yeah, I need to get some people to write those
You'll
opinions.
get a few
and
young
shit.
kids out of college, but hey, this is your big chance, my man. I'm a Supreme Court judge
for life,
I'm gonna,
by the way.
Right, for life. And I'm going to allow you to really
He'd bring
Get
back the wig. We know
your
that.
hands
I'd
around
speak for the people, though. I'd speak for the people. You know,
You'd be
it'd
the
be like
people's judge, for
people's
sure.
dissertations would be going down, and then there'd be quotes from me like, "Give me a break." Like that would be my argument. Would be
This
like,
is
Get over yourself.
bullshit.
This
Outrage.
is bullshit. B-U-U-U-U-U-U-L.
Plaintiff argues a bunch of bullshit.
Supreme Court Justice Walters declared, "This is some serious bullshit."
They'd have to talk about it on Fox News.
Justice Walters.
Picture of me with my robe and my gavel declares this is bull, and then they just have B star 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 star.
Your picture would be that look where you
Very smug.
breathe in, look to the side, nostrils flared.
Sit there, I'd stand in the front of all the justices. We'd be in a row. I'd be like, give them
Devil
devil
horns.
horns. Yeah,
Hey, once you're in, you're in.
dude, I'm in.
That's what we need, man.
Do it.
Some practicality on the court. Luch writes in, buddy Luch, who helped
My
you
man,
with your-
Luch.
who helped clean up after E, essentially.
Yeah, he did.
Helped
Luch is
finish
my man.
E's job.
Yeah.
How so?
How so? I don't know. He finished raking Miguel's yard
yeah,
that you
whatever.
promised to do.
Yep.
Oh,
Instead,
whatever.
Luch had to come in behind
Dude,
you and
I
clean
don't-
up.
That's fine with me. I spent a good
Yeah, you spend your
10
whole life
hours.
having people clean up after you.
No,
We know.
No, not really. Not
Mike,
exactly.
Jay, and Big E, your talk of Bob Dylan's live performance brought back a concert experience with my old man. He asked me to go see Dylan with him, and I was excited because I like his tunes. When he came on, he was halfway through the first song before I realized it was like a Rolling Stone.
Oh no.
My dad gave me an elbow and asked if I was ready to go. It was like he was reading my mind. I still think Dylan is great, is a great poet / songwriter, but he is horrible live.
Yeah.
I'm glad the ticket was free.
Oh no, that scares me. Maybe I won't buy it. I don't know.
Mm.
I think
won't
if you're
do it.
gonna take a gift from someone to go to a concert, Dylan wouldn't be the one you'd want to go see
Yeah.
nowadays. No offense to Bob.
I gotta think about it now. Maybe that email really. I know you guys said it, but that email is really telling. I don't know.
Wait, you didn't believe me when I said the same exact thing?
but you didn't word it like that. That was just how that was.
I was
worded,
kind of
I guess.
speculating as to how I think it would go.
That was just
Yeah.
very
Ugh.
on. Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, I think he's doing like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, sort of.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm still decided down.
Aaron writes in, Puppet Master, and E. E with an accent. If you hear anyone pronounce cache as cachet when referring to computers, they're either French or pretentious. More than likely just pretentious.
If you hear him pronouncing it cash instead of cachet.
No, if they're saying cachet, which I've definitely heard people say. I've heard it both ways.
I think of weapons cache, not computers.
I've never heard a weapons cache. I've heard
You
weapons
haven't?
cache.
You don't watch
but
TV. It's
in terms of computers is when I've heard that. So I'm trying to defend you, Miguel. I think
Yeah.
it's both ways, and I've heard cachet for sure.
I would have bet E's life that it was that when
This
he
is
hit.
the second time in the last day I've heard you bet my life that you were going to be wrong.
I know.
On the winner of
Fingers
2 years.
crossed.
On the winner of
Fingers
2 years
crossed,
ago.
It's
we're
a risk
hoping
I'm
he's
willing
right.
to take. I mean, if the bet was offered E's life, if you're wrong, I would have taken that bet.
We've been
that
wrong
it said
twice now.
cachet, CACHE, cachet.
Aaron continues. Also, when referring to cache in your computer, it is referring to small memory stores on your processor or hard drive. This is not to be confused with wah, wah, wah. This guy's a nerd. He's going into RAM and all that.
RAM.
You're a nerd. Megabytes and bits and shit.
RAM,
Are you
who
kidding me, Aaron? Nerd.
Who are you talking to?
Nerd. Nerd. Ah!
Nerd. Who gives a fuck?
Kilobytes, mega.
Get out of
You
here.
ever read that shit, Aaron? My
God,
God, out of the 12
nerd.
emails you send me every day, you make me read that one?
Why did you go with that? Did you only read the first
I
sentence?
just wanted to read the cachet part. I thought it was
Yeah.
relevant. But my
He sent us
God, what a
some
nerd.
coffee mugs, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you to Marisa for my white person antibacterial spray,
Yes.
which I will be using around here due to said nut scratching that occurs
Mhm.
from one member of the cast. That will be used in full force. Also, she sent us some hats, which I think we may be donning tomorrow when Kadog comes in.
Yes. Sounds good. I like it.
Save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll call it a day if you're ready, Jay. If you sign off on
Take us out of broadcasting.
All right.
Take us out of broadcast.
With the King's Declaration, we will be taken out of broadcast, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit. Listen to God, watch you grow. You know